times, trust the experience of 24-hour News 8 to keep you informed, taking you behind closed doors. Only 24-hour News 8 brings you the West Michigan perspective live from Washington. Decisions that impact our world, stories that impact your life. 24-hour News 8 has the resources and commitment to cover it all. For late-breaking developments on air and online, trust the experience of 24-hour News 8.
If you're an avid outdoorsman and want to take advantage of our great natural resources, then get to the Grand Center Sport Fishing and Travel Show, March 20th through the 23rd. Register to win a 14-foot deluxe Lund fishing boat package from Sport Fisherman Center in Muskegon, Yamaha Outboards, and Lund, valued at over $5,000. Look to the March 16th TV guide section of the Grand Rapids Press or visit woodtv.com or enter to win at the show. The Grand Center Sport Fishing and Travel Show, March 20th through the 23rd, brought to you by Wood TV 8.
Watch Connect, real kids talking about real issues.
You are watching NBC Sports, home of the PGA Tour's crown jewel, the Players' Championship.
Today, G-forces collide. Aaron Garcia, the quarterback of the New York Dragons, has the best passing numbers in the AFL. There's one thing he doesn't have, a win. Today, he'll face the LA Avengers and their G-man, Tony Graziani. The season started well for the Avengers, but now they've dropped 2 games in a row. It's the AFL on NBC. He's arguably the AFL's top quarterback.
Give up, no matter what.
Aaron Garcia has thrown for over 100 touchdowns in a season before, and he's on a record pace to do it again. But big numbers haven't overcome bigger hits. His Dragons are 0-5. Today, it's Garcia versus Tony Graziani. His LA Avengers started out as the league's best offense. But 3 straight wins has turned into 2 straight defeats. That hurts.
Touchdown, Georgia!
Darrell Hammond is proving age is just a number as he strives for that elusive Arena Bowl ring. He's one of the all-time best two-way players, and the AFL's longest-running career runs into a rampage. Right now, it's the AFL on NBC. Look out. It is week 6 of the Arena Football League on NBC. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our coverage of what most of you will see today. 2 great offenses, New York and Los Angeles from Long Island. Some of you will also see the snazzy record of the Grand Rapids Rampage against the Georgia Force. We're going to come to you a little bit earlier for the next 3 weeks because of the PGA Tour's Southern Swing. Al Troutwig along with Michael Irvin and Glenn Parker, and there's been a lot of plotting and scheming. What's up with you two?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Let's get down to business. New York fires all their coaches. They have a new head coach in Todd Shell. They're 0-5 in a 16-game season. Where do you draw belief from in a situation like that?
Well, and that's Todd Shell's hardest job right now, to make this team believe that they can win ball games. You know, when you go out, start out 0-2, 0-3, now when you get to 0-5, you're starting to say, hey, is this worth it? What is happening here? And when the games get close, you started waiting on a chance to lose.
Todd Shell's had a week now with this team, though, and that's going to change things around. I talked to him this week. He says, listen, we're going to get back to basics. We're going to switch some things on defense. That's where we need to make the improvement, and that's where we'll win.
He takes 2 Super Bowl rings with the San Francisco 49ers into the middle of this Long Island storm, but he knows he's got one of the best quarterbacks in the game. Here's more on what's going on in the world of the Dragons.
We're going to put the D in Dragon, but like Aaron said, they're still O in Dragon too, all right?
Sometimes when you have been on a losing team and then bad things happen, you kind of go back into that shell.
Come on now. Don't give in, all right? Don't give up, no matter what. Let's go.
The offense, you know, I feel like we've been doing, you know, our job to a certain extent, but you know, our number one job is to outscore the other team, and we haven't been able to do that yet. I don't mind taking those hits as long as the other quarterback is taking them too.
Shots he's taken, and to get back up and go down the field and keep playing, you can't help but respect that guy. The thing that scares me most is that he gets hit one of these times, doesn't get back up.
I don't want anybody quitting. You keep playing hard.
We're on track, I think, to do a lot of, you know, great things offensively. But, you know, obviously the season's never fun unless you're winning.
We got to slow it down a little bit. And we're going to run a game.
a lot of frustration building here, and that's what's going to happen. You know, the other team's winning, they're going to have fun, and that's part of it, and we got to get to that point where we can have some fun at somebody else's expense. I feel like I'm a fighter. I feel like there is fight in this team. We got to find a way to win. Until we do that, you know, I don't think I'll be able to enjoy it as much as I'd like.
Hear a lot of people there using the word quit and saying don't give up. It makes you wonder, is that what they're seeing on Long Island? Let's find out more with Lewis Johnson.
Well, Al, for this young man, he's taken hit after hit, even though he's thrown touchdown after touchdown. But, Aaron, you guys are 0-5. What changes this thing today?
Just us. I mean, we got to be accountable to each other, come together as a team. We got a new coach, some new players, put the excuses behind us and turn it around today.
You told me you had a visit to the locker room. Who was it and what did he say?
Coach Herman Edwards came in. Coach Shell asked him to come in. He said a couple words to us and just told us he knows about coming back from a tough situation, and he told us this is the night to turn it around.
All right, Al. Aaron Garcia is ready. Back to you guys.
And I'll tell you this, the last time Herm Edwards gave a pregame speech, it was the Red Storm of St. John's. They went out and played Duke at Madison Square Garden and had their biggest win of the year. Do these speeches work?
Well, first off, that's an obscure factoid you just gave us.
Yes, I did.
You know what? I think a guy like Herm Edwards comes in, it scares you a little bit. He's scary on TV.
Now, the LA Avengers lost a big player last week in the Samoan semi, and he's a big factor in protecting Tony Graziani. They don't have him again today.
Right, and remember a couple weeks ago when you asked, who's the best team in the league? You jumped on L.A. You loved L.A. because they're all right. I told you, I don't care what league we in, we need defense. I don't care where you play, you need defense.
I'm going to tell you a little story.
And the L.A. Avengers did not have defense then, and they're still not playing defense.
I'm going to tell you a little story.
It's
Way back in '94, I played a team down in a place, and they were horrible. We crushed them. People said they're still the best team. We said, no way. They came back and won the Super Bowl. They were the Dallas Cowboys. So
right.
Never jump off that bandwagon, especially.
But we had some defense. You need
bandwagon jumper.
That is ancient history. That does not apply to 2003.
Did you know he got a free bowl of soup with this suit?
That's not all he gets for free. Let's go to a big situation last week. We watched Dallas and Arizona battle into overtime where Danny White made a crucial decision. Let's review.
We're going onside here. We're going dribble onside, okay?
Here's an onside kick.
Let's go, we got to score. Let's go.
Now remember, Dallas will get a possession.
An onside kick doesn't count as a Dallas possession.
You're wrong. You're wrong. An onside kick is a possession.
Danny White thought they just won the game.
It's their responsibility to recover the football. That's terrible.
Now, Danny White to many is Mr. AFL. If he doesn't know the rule, then a lot of people in the AFL don't know the rule.
Argument right here in the studio, and I'm saying, no, Glenn, the game is over. They won the game. Glenn, go ahead on feed. Go ahead on get you. I was right. Okay.
Possession. The word means something. You have to have possession. How does Danny White not know this rule?
This is the rule, by the way.
There you go. There's the rule right below me here.
Bigger question to me is, I think the rule's wrong. I think if you're willing to gamble that you're going to give the team that you're facing the ball on, say, the 9-yard line, giving up your possession on an onside kick, you should be able to win that gamble.
I agree. We got to change it. But you know what? That's the way the rule was written. You got to know it.
I think you should change the rule also.
All right, we'll see you at halftime. Before we go, one look at one game last night in the AFL, and it was absolutely bizarre. The Tampa Bay Storm are totally for real, and the Buffalo Destroyers know it. Tampa Bay went up in this game by a score of 26-0. That's not supposed to happen in the AFL. The final score is they destroy Buffalo 52-27. We'll see you at halftime. We're hoping for more fantastic finishes like we had last week here with the AFL on NBC. Enjoy.
We outside kick, that's ball game.
Moving out for the end zone and a touchdown to Shannon Culver. And now it's on Jason Wells for the extra point. It's good. Dallas wins in OT.
Going a full 12 rounds is all about stamina. That's why I like high endurance from Old Spice. No deodorant protects better. And it lasts longer because it evaporates more slowly. Want proof? If you're not convinced, Old Spice will buy you a stick of your old stuff. Let me put it this way. High endurance lasts longer than I do. But I'm working on that.
Hey guys, meet the new guy.
Hi, I'm Bob Holt,
camp.
Hey, help yourself to some snacks. Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything.
I can almost taste it.
Telling me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Yeah, thanks.
Wendy's, it's better here.
I don't want anybody quit. You keep playing hard. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry.
As long as I to myself, it helps me to live.
Hey, you got 4 touchdowns already. We got to slow it down a little bit. We're going to run a game.
Classic moments, classic hamburgers, the AFL and Wendy's. It's better here.
Punish him!
30 miles northeast of downtown Atlanta sits a 3-week-old 11,000-seat arena in Gwinnett County. And today, NBC Sports is live in Duluth, Georgia for Week 6 of the AFL. The 3-2 Georgia Force and the 4-1 Grand Rapids Rampage. Good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Eli Gold. Welcome to the AFL on NBC. Grand Rapids, they continue to lead the Central Division of the AFL, and they are led by their standout quarterback, Clint Dolezal, one of the best in league history. He's won an Arena Bowl championship, but Charles, today he is going to be tested. He's facing the league's #1 defense.
And when you go up against the #1 defense, you probably need a cowboy to lead you. And fortunately for Grand Rapids, Clint Dolezal is that out of East Texas State. One of the all-time best, as you mentioned, Eli. And here's why. Very efficient throwing the ball. And he's a very intelligent quarterback. Gets with his offensive coordinator, Sparky McEwen, makes the game plan, calls his own game. And today, against Jermaine Smith in that great rush, he'll have to have it all together.
Now, conversely, the Georgia Force offense not nearly as explosive, but they are led by a talented quarterback, Donnie Davis, who, like Dolezal, has an Arena Bowl championship to his credit, and he's coming off a superb outing last Sunday in Los Angeles.
One that was desperately needed by him and his team. In the first couple of games of the season, Donnie Davis had trouble. 9 touchdown passes, good, but 7 interceptions, not so good. But last week, after coming back from injury, 5 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions. Exactly what his coach Marty Lowe wanted from him. Very efficient, took care of the football. And when he does that, the Georgia Force are tough to beat.
Getting set to go, Steve McLaughlin wears number 15 in blue for the Georgia Force. Has a good solid leg. The deep man for the the Grand Rapids Rampage, Steve Smith. And on the kick, off the metal, here's Smith, played it neatly. Smith to the 15, runs up the teammates back, Joe Wiley, who was blocking for him, and Kendrick Golston is the man who puts him down. As you take a look at Clint Dolezal and the rest of the Grand Rapids offense, Chris Avery at fullback, in for the injured Chris Ryan. Terrell Shaw, he's a good one, as is Smith and Marshall. And the line play has been solid. Mayfield, the veteran, Golston, Rod Manuel, the tight end. On the move, Shaw, man in motion. They come to Marshall, and Willis Marshall is tied up in a package on the near side by Kevin Gaines, who is coming off a superb ball game a weekend ago in Los Angeles. The defense that the Georgia Force has with Gaines is anchored by Jermaine Smith, Marcus Keys, and Kendrick Golston, but it's Jermaine Smith who's generating all the headlines.
He's a guy who brings it hard on every single play, and last week Tony Graziani, the Los Angeles Avengers quarterback, just could not get away from big number 98.
Veteran Darrell Hammond You heard Al Troutwig talk about him on the pregame. The quick screen off the hands of Marshall, incomplete. They're going to try a lot of that slip screen or a quick screen. A lot of teams call it lots of different things. But that basically is part of how you game plan against a talented defensive lineman like a Jermaine Smith.
And you have to have, when you're doing something like that, trying to game plan against him, you try to go to plays that you run well. And ordinarily, that's a staple for the Grand Rapids Rampage. Unable to complete that one. But as you mentioned, Eli, they'll come back to it later. Michael Trigg, their head coach, will demand it.
Trigg, 69 wins. Looking for number 70 today would put him into rarefied areas. Flags are down. You saw the movement at the line of scrimmage with the completion to Steve Smith, but referee Pat Garvey will be addressing us for the first time. That's Garvey on the left from Larchmont, New York.
On the tackle. Flag on the play.
Offsides. Defense, number 98. That penalty would be declined. Resulting play, first down.
Jermaine Smith, the man of whom we spoke earlier. There's head coach Marty Lowe, coaching the Georgia Force at 31 years of age, the youngest coach in the AFL. He started with this organization when they were the Nashville Cats. He was their offensive coordinator at the time.
Offense coordinator for 2 Arena Bowl finals teams. One of them losing to Grand Rapids.
Quick release again on that screen. Loose. It is dead on contact with the carpet. Steve Smith. So he can't hang on to one. Willis Marshall can't hang on to one. That's something that we didn't really bargain on.
Well, part of the reason is that when you're running the inside screen to your wide receiver, it requires the receiver to come down inside where the linemen are, what they call running through the traffic or running through the wash. And occasionally you get a glimpse of those big guys coming at you from inside out. And sometimes your hands don't cooperate with your mind.
And as Michael Trigg told us yesterday, they're going to do a lot of quick throws, quick screens. That's 2 and 5 plays. But they mix it up going long to Shaw for the touchdown. Terrell Shaw on the receiving end of a 16-yard touchdown strike. Jarek Hillary and Scotty Lindsay had the coverage. But you know what we're seeing here, Charles, is a great mix of plays.
Great mix, but here's going to be the money play for Grand Rapids all game long. Not necessarily just this route, but you notice who's covering? Number 9, Scotty Lindsay. That's the guy they've isolated on in their pregame and decided he's the guy that they will try to attack. He's filling in for their all-conference guy, Cliff Green.
The extra point by the kicker of the month in the Arena Football League, Brian Goins. So the Dolezal-Shaw combination, 5 plays, 32 yards in 3.5 minutes. The Rampage up early.
People everywhere are discovering a new way to protect their homes and families, all thanks to a new security system called SafeWatch EZ, only from ADT. Now you can arm your system with just the turn of a key. And with no codes to enter, SafeWatch EZ virtually eliminates accidentally setting off your alarm. Get SafeWatch EZ for as little as $99. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
Papa John's presents a mouth-watering deal that'll put a smile on your face. Say cheese. Sticks. Free cheese sticks. When you buy a made-to-order large one-topping Papa John's pizza for just $9.99. We see you smiling.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Just your brokerage statement, Al.
Avoiding your portfolio won't make it any better. We've extended the Fresh Start offer to help more investors get back on track. Call 1-800-4-SCHWAB or visit a Schwab Investor Center by March 31st.
Sunday, the alleged mastermind of the 9/11 attacks captured. Our continuing search for Al-Qaeda. The Hunt. Dateline tonight, 7/6 Central on NBC.
It's back.
Weirdly mesmerizing. Curling is hot.
The USA Curling National Championships. Next Saturday at 2 Eastern on NBC.
Getting up the Welcome back. You've got to like Grand Rapids' mindset right here. They're facing the league's #1 defense. First possession, they've got points on the board.
Yeah, they go right at the defense. It's Scotty Lindsay, number 9, the defensive specialist, filling in for Cliff Green. He's going to have a very busy day trying to cover Terrell Shaw and the rest of the receivers from Grand Rapids.
This is Markeith Cooper on the run back. Markeith Cooper to the 21-yard line. That's where Georgia will go to work after we check in New York with an update. Al Troutwig. Al?
Eli, it didn't take long for the LA Avengers to score on the New York Dragons. Right off the opening kick, they marched up the field. Tony Graziani is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, hits Chris Jackson, but Chris Jackson shows great strength to get in the end zone off this button hook.
But get this, the Dragons have just scored. We could update that 7-6 right now, pending the extra point. Back to you, Eli.
At the Nassau Coliseum in the early stages. Here, a quick release to Jarek Hillary. Gets him across midfield to the 24-yard line. Let's check out the Georgia offense. There have been a few changes in the last week or so. Davis solidly at quarterback. Markeith Cooper, he is the offensive specialist, took over last week with the ongoing injury to veteran Tyrone Jones. And there's the offensive front. Smith, far more of a force on defense than he is on offense. Davis, nice thread the needle to Darrell Hammond, and the veteran is down to the 3-yard line. Darrell Hammond, in his 13th year, picks up 22, beating Cecil Doggett.
Darrell Hammond is 6'3", 220 pounds, working against the smaller 5'8", 180-pound Cecil Doggett. Watch how he uses his body. Just gets his body between Doggett and the football. No chance for Cecil to go up through him. Great catch by Darrell Hammond.
Hammond is 6'3", 220. Doggett just 5'8", 175. Nothing on that one, and it's fumbled by Tommy Dorsey. Recovered by Georgia. Tommy Dorsey, the 6-year veteran out of North Carolina Central, got the handoff and quickly put it down.
Tommy Dorsey's one of their high motor guys. Got the start today. I noticed him starting on defense, but a great play, great penetration by his counterpart, Chris Avery, number 34, shooting the gap as the MAC linebacker. He got there as soon as the handoff was executed.
The pitch, Dorsey turns it upfield with a nice block, touchdown. Oscar Sturgis just shoved big number 55, Joe Wiley, directly out of the way, and that allowed Dorsey to cut it back inside for the touchdown. That doesn't happen if Sturgis doesn't make the key block.
Very nice giving the offensive linemen a little publicity in this game. The only time we hear about offensive linemen is when they get beat on pass rushes. So find out when they make a good play. Very nice part.
Plus, I'm a big guy. You gotta hang with the big guys.
Gotta hang with the big fellas. Nothing wrong with that.
Hillary is the holder for Steve McLaughlin. No good. It's a 7-6 football game. So Dorsey on the run of 1 yard, capping off a 4-play, 29-yard drive in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. It's a 1-point affair outside of Atlanta.
I'm gonna give you the big half of mine. There you go, honey. Enjoy.
Sharing feeds the soul. Bring a friend and try Denny's new hoagie melts. The hearty Philly melt smothered in melted Swiss cheese. Or the delicious chicken melt covered with tangy cheddar. Try Denny's hoagie melts. And remember, sharing is good. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
The first major advance for the fastest treatment of athlete's foot is Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT is the first non-prescription medicine proven to kill the fungus with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. Lotrimin AF and Tinactin still expect you to treat for 4 weeks. Who's gonna do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
Just how close are you to finding a place with a spectacular view? Chances are closer than you think. Head for the mountains of Bush.
Duel on NBC is brought to you by Denny's, a good place to sit and eat. Stop by today and enjoy Denny's new hoagie melts. By Lamisil AT, there's no better way to cure athlete's foot. And by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP.
What a great run to end the drive for the Georgia Force. Tommy Dorsey, look to your left. Great block by Oscar Sturgis, number 97. Now watch at the end of the play. As a former defensive back, I can safely assure you that nothing good comes from trying to tackle a guy who's already scored a touchdown. He's in the end zone. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
Steve McLaughlin, who has just missed the extra point, set to kick it away to Willis Marshall. That was only the third extra point of the year that McLaughlin has missed. He's 20 of 23.
All three have come in the last two ball games, though.
That one goes into the seats and the touchback. So the touchback brings the football out to the 5-yard line. There he is, the lead singer for Pet the Fish. You listen to that alternative music, don't you?
Oh, of course. Whenever Steve McLaughlin plays, I want to be there, and I told him after the season, get the band back together, because I want to come to all the concerts.
They opened for Dave Matthews.
Yeah, actually appeared on TV one time,
right.
Leading show.
But he says that's in his other life. He doesn't even worry about it during football season. Clint Dolezal at quarterback for Grand Rapids. Nice catch by Terrell Shaw, who was curling inside, then cut outside around Jarek Hillary to make the catch. Not to be surprised that they're doing well. Shaw is the favorite target this year statistically of Clint Dolezal.
There's Sparky McEwen, the offensive coordinator. Had a great chance to talk with him before the game, Eli. And know what he told me? Terrell Shaw, number 15 for Grand Rapids, is rounding into the same type of form that he showed the year that they won the Arena Football Championship. And remember what a great year Shaw had, the MVP of that Arena Bowl game.
They really missed him last year. He only played 9 games and went down because of injury. Here's Chris Avery, the fullback, who gets the first down out to the 17-yard line. Corey Mayfield, big number 91, is the man who came around to help on the block. Remember, Avery is playing with Chris Ryan, the normal fullback, on injured reserve with an ankle injury. Ryan is the number 1 all-time Grand Rapids rusher. Well, there's a guy they could ill afford to lose, Ricky Ross. Has he ever been a huge part of this ball club?
Talk about him having what they term a breakout season. He's learned from 2 of the best in Grand Rapids history, especially from Michael Baker, who just retired this year and played the same positions as Ricky Ross. And Gary Compton, a veteran now with Tampa Bay, was here last year, helping teach him the rules of the game and the way to go.
Ricky's in a good bit of pain as the training crew tends to him. We're going to break away during this injury timeout. We'll return in a moment.
Okay, let's say this is your car and you get into an accident. Oh boy. If you take it to an Allstate recommended repair shop, they'll fix it, so you're pretty happy. You're like, woo, I'm pretty happy. Even better, Allstate guarantees the workmanship for as long as you own the car, which means if even the smallest thing goes wrong, you don't have to pay for it. So you're still happy. You're like, woo, I'm still happy. So there you go, the Allstate Lifetime Repair Guarantee. Call for yourself and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
Gentlemen, KFC is something unique and exciting. Hot wings.
Hot and crispy outside, tender inside. Hot wings only from KFC. Get 8 for only $2.99 or 20 for just $7.49.
I smell hot wings.
The passage is intense. But if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
PGA Tour leading money winner Mike Weir goes for his 3rd win of the year. The final round of the Ford Championship at Doral coming up next on NBC.
Well, welcome back. They're still tending to Ricky Ross. You can just see him sitting there, and you can see the disgusted look on his face. He knows he's hurt. Look at the contributions he's had just in returns this year, not to mention the 18 catches he has this season and Charles, it was not pretty to watch on the replay.
No, and one of the things that he's doing is what receivers are asked to do, block. And he's blocking on Oscar Sturgis, number 97. Just a short crackback, and it was legal, but number 73, Bruce McClure, rolls into him from the inside. Watch 73 McClure right there. Say rolls into the ankle and the bottom leg area of Ricky Ross. Inadvertently, no one trying deliberately to hurt anyone, just playing the game. But when the little guys get caught up there with a lot of big guys, it's not a good spot for the little guy to be most of the time.
Plus, Ricky is ticked off because, other than the obvious of an injury here, he also had a season shortened a year ago. He only played 8 games for the coach, Michael Trigg, because he had a right hip injury. So, man, I'm telling you.
It's not good, and we're not going to speculate on what type of injury it is. That would be foolish on our part and not good. But when they cut through things, Eli, as we saw them when we went away, cutting through the tape and cutting through the sock and everything to put on, looks like an air cast or a splint. See how they're pumping it up right now? They're going to pump up an air cast on him to keep everything stable in his leg. We can only hope that, as Jay Gruden discovered,
yes, that's the one thing.
Would be good on the backside as opposed to what it looks like right now.
What was diagnosed in Gruden's case initially as a broken ankle and so on, and a broken leg bone in Carolina when the game was being played. When the swelling went down, he returned back to Orlando and found out that the injury, though severe enough, was not potentially season-ending. You know, we talk about Ricky Ross and all he's done this year. I don't know if you checked it out. Back on February 16th against New York, Grand Rapids' Ricky Ross returned 2 kickoffs, one of 56, one of 57 yards. First ever Rampage player to return multiple kickoffs for scores in the same game. And he ends up with 5 kick returns, 197 yards. He added 2 catches that day, 5 tackles. He was selected the AFL's Iron Man of the Week. And he's getting a nice hand here. Ricky is really, he came into the game as our number 2 favorite Ricky, behind, of course, our producer, Ricky Diamond, who threatened us with turning the microphones off if we didn't say it. But you know, Ricky Ross, we met with him, I guess, when we were in Grand Rapids a few weeks ago, and spent time with him around the hotel here yesterday. And he's just a nice guy. He just loves playing. And I mean, look, when these tough players show that kind of pain, you know it's a problem.
Yeah, we take a look there at Robert Smith, who is the defensive coordinator and assistant head coach. And Ricky going off, trying not to show the pain, and our best wishes go out to Ricky right now.
Now, Ricky, we'll talk more about it, how it impacts their roster. Here with flags down, Dolezal. Nice completion to Smith, who then loses the football, and the whistle says the play was dead at the 20-yard line. Defensively, Steve Smith will move up to take Ricky Ross's linebacker spot. And obviously now will also take the spot.
Offsides, defense, number 97. That penalty will be declined. Resultant play is first down.
He'll also take the spot, Steve Smith will, on the offense.
Second time today, the defense has jumped off sides, but Grand Rapids has gotten more yardage on the play anyway. You see the catch here now. Beautiful catch by Steve Smith. He's their little water bug guy. And you have to tackle him as soon as he catches the ball. And a good job by Scotty Lindsey knocking the ball free, but they were down at by contact. But you have to tackle him on the spot, otherwise he can make big plays downfield.
Dolezal loads up, wide open, touchdown Shaw. His second TD reception of the day. Kevin Gaines just fell. That man just either lost his footing or was so faked out by Shaw that he went down, and Shaw just lost Gaines, and he was wide open for a 20-yard TD.
Watch the move by Terrell Shaw. He's going to work in here and then work back to the opposite side. See how he twists and then goes back the other way? It's just a great, great route by a terrific receiver.
Brian Goins for the extra point out of the hold of backup quarterback Nick Browder. Got it. And Grand Rapids having no trouble whatsoever with the league's #1 defense. The only problem is they've lost the services of Ricky Ross.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Papa John's presents a mouth-watering deal that'll put a smile on your face. Say cheese. Sticks. Free cheese sticks. When you buy a made-to-order large one-topping Papa John's pizza for just $9.99. We see you smiling.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
I was cooking dinner and I just fell asleep. I tried to get out, but I collapsed. I couldn't call for help. But ADT did. They saved my life.
An ADT monitored fire detector not only sounds an alarm, it actually signals ADT so we can call for help. Get ADT fire protection for just $199. Call 888-ADT-FIRE today.
On Sunday's #1 drama, Law & Order: Criminal Intent. He's a genius and he loves his family, so why does he want them dead?
He's cleaning house.
With a screwdriver in his neck.
How do you take down Deadly Daddy?
God!
With a Law & Order twist.
I have it.
Oscar winner Joel Grey in an all-new Law & Order: Criminal Intent. NBC tonight.
Clint Dolezal and Terrell Shaw. It's been the potent combination giving Grand Rapids the lead 14-6. Markeith Cooper to field the kick from Brian Goins. It's a short kick. Here's Cooper. Picked up and spun around, put away by Albert Reese. Hey, folks, quick reminder, coming up next on NBC, final round coverage of the Ford Championship at Doral. The leaderboard shows Scott Hoke and Bob Tway sitting in the top spots. Final round coverage of the Ford Championship at Doral. Dan Hicks and the guys standing by, coming up next on NBC.
Yeah, great leaderboard. I mean, you're looking at Mike Weir, who's only 2 shots off, who's won twice already this year. Scott Hoke won twice last year. Bob Tway's won a major. Great leaderboard.
Nice hands on the crossing route for Scott Thomas. He's to the 18-yard line. Thomas, who was both a defensive back and a wide receiver in college at Azusa Pacific, so he's tailor-made for this kind of game.
Loves going both ways. We had a nice chance to chat with him yesterday, and I asked him, what's the thing you like most about playing this game of football? He said, big plays. Yep. I like making big plays. I'm used to playing on defense, but I'm really starting to enjoy the offensive side.
Donnie Davis comes left, wide open, Willie Gary. And he gets to the 20-yard line before he's put down by Shea Showers. Willie Gary, who is a rookie out of Kentucky, where he was a cornerback, but he's got good hands on O.
And speed kills in this game because Markeith Cooper is the speed guy, and Grand Rapids saw the film last week of what he did against Los Angeles with his 10 catches for 111 yards, and he got deep a few times. They pushed their coverage towards him. That allowed Willie Gary to come free underneath.
Davis, off-balance throw. That one goes incomplete at around the 10-yard line. Right now, time we go to New York, Studio 3B for an update. Al Troutwig.
All right, Eli, I'm with Glenn Parker, and it seems as though the LA Avengers have refound their offense.
Well, it seems that way. Chris Jackson, the man in motion here, the safety, reads it wrong, funnels him to the outside. There's no one there for him. Chris Jackson, pitch and catch from Graziano.
And Eli, Chris Jackson's done what Terrell Shaw's done in your game, 2 touchdowns.
Exactly right. He's been the big guy right there. Of course, Chris Jackson used to catch passes from Ryan Leaf at Washington State when he played collegiately. But here, nobody can catch that pass from Donnie Davis, who had heavy pressure. We've not taken a good close-up look at the Grand Rapids defense as of yet. Why don't we do so right here and show you who's putting that pressure on Donnie Davis.
The big fellas up front. Eric Golston, the veteran, came over this year to Grand Rapids, but Corey Mayfield, number 91, the all-time sack leader for Grand Rapids.
Of course, one Ricky Ross injured earlier, so number 84 is in there. And 84 is Steve Smith, Mr. Showtime. Good offensive line play. Plenty of time to get to Scott Thomas, who's bumped by Shea Showers out of bounds inside the 10. Great work by the offensive line. Donnie Davis had tons of time
Plenty of time to throw the football to execute the schemes that Marty Lowe has drawn up. And again, using Markeith Cooper, who comes from the top of the screen. You saw him in the middle there, taking Cecil Doggett out of coverage zone and then throwing it to Scott Thomas in the short zone. Shea Showers bumping him out of bounds.
Dan Curran is the fullback. He's got the toss. He gets the block. He bowls his way over Shea Showers for the touchdown. It was Willie Gary and Jermaine Smith who threw the pivotal blocks on the left side of the line, opening it up for Dan Curry, the veteran out of New Hampshire, who runs for his 4th rushing touchdown of the year.
Dan Curran is filling in for Travis Reese, who came into the season as their top ball carrier, has led the AFL in rushing before, and Dan Curran's been quite a surprise. And at the goal line, Shea Showers trying to keep the big truck out. But when 34 gets his shoulders square, he's almost running downhill with a 5-yard head of steam.
With Steve McLaughlin having missed an extra point earlier, they're going to try for 2 here. Rolling, throwing, got the 2-point conversion. Markeith Cooper. Cecil Doggett was the cover man, but Markeith hooks up with Donnie Davis.
And an excellent throw by Donnie Davis on about the 4th step on a quick sprint right. Good coverage by Cecil Doggett. Great throw and excellent concentration by Markeith Cooper.
A 6-play drive. It goes 40 yards, 4 minutes, 28 seconds. We're tied up in Georgia.
Life. Liberty. And the pursuit of all who threaten it. Navy. Accelerate your life. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY.
Owner of a Major League Baseball team. Big league income.
Hey, kid. Off the field.
The internship that could get you there. Priceless. Apply for an internship with the Cardinals or the Mets. Go to MasterCard.com.
Gentlemen, KFC is something unique and exciting. Hot wings.
Hot and crispy outside, tender inside. Hot wings only from KFC. Get 8 for only $2.99 or 20 for just $7.49.
I smell hot wings. Well, they're going toe for toe or toe to toe here in the early stages outside of Atlanta, Georgia. We are in Duluth with Steve McLaughlin set to kick it away to Willis Marshall. That's live. It can be covered by Georgia. It is covered by Grand Rapids. What a break for the Rampage. They got the football back at the 2. My goodness. That's one of the rules in this league. The man who's caught 2 touchdowns already, Terrell Shaw, covers the football.
And Scott Thomas, who says he loves to make big plays, had an opportunity, wasn't able to get to the football. Terrell Shaw able to come back and cover for Grand Rapids so they could avoid disaster.
Muhammad! Indeed, off the net. That football is live. What a ball game Terrell Shaw is having. Catching 2 touchdown passes. Recovering that one.
Here we go.
At the 2.
And Grand Rapids aided by a penalty against Georgia on the kickoff. Instead of starting at the 2, they'll be starting at the 7.
But they'll be starting at the 7 when we move to the second quarter of play. So Grand Rapids led. Georgia came back. Grand Rapids led. Georgia ties it. That's where we are after 1 quarter. And we will be back after these messages from your local station.
Every week on Meet My Folks, parents choose the mate for their child. Monday after Fear Factor, the tables are turned.
Is your mom home?
It's time to date my mom. One single mother, 3 bachelors, and her kids get to choose.
You don't know what we're thinking. I am more than twice your age.
Packed with surprises and the lie detector.
Would you resent me if I put you in a retirement home?
Yes. Meet My Folks, 9:30, 8:30 Central, right after Vegas Fear Factor, NBC Monday.
Cheese, where your imagination runs wild. Located in downtown Grand Rapids on Ionia.
Let's see how Trailblazer measures up against this Ford Explorer. Explorer has more shoulder room between here and here, and from here to here. Available adjustable pedals that move from here to here, and independent rear suspension here for improved handling between here, 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 and here. And returning lessees will smile from here to here with a $312 a month lease for 24 months on a 2003 Explorer 4-door XLT 4x4. So don't go there. See your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealer here.
If you're an avid outdoorsman and want to take advantage of our great natural resources, then get to the Grand Center Sport Fishing and Travel Show, March 20th through the 23rd. Register to win a 14-foot deluxe Lund fishing boat package from Sport Fisherman Center in Muskegon, Yamaha Outboards, and Lund, valued at over $5,000. Look to the March 16th TV guide section of the Grand Rapids Press or visit woodtv.com or enter to win at the show. The Grand Center Sport Fishing and Travel Show, March 20th through the 23rd, brought to you by Wood TV 8.
Watch Sports Overtime tonight after News 8 at 11.
Back with you here at the Gwinnett Arena, Gwinnett County, Georgia. Dolezal, last 4 passes, 4 of 4, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. Riddling his way right through the league's #1 defense. That time it's to Steve Smith.
Eli, you got to see the #1 defense last week in Los Angeles and what a performance they put on. Los Angeles came in the game averaging 61 points a game. They only got 35. And look at this, #1 in total defense, 3rd in scoring defense. You don't get much against this team, but thus far today, Clint Dolezal in Grand Rapids, the first 2 drives, right down the field both times for touchdowns. Bob Cronenberg, the defensive coordinator for Georgia, looking for some answers early.
But Dolezal, remember, #2 in passing defense or passing percentage in league history. There's Chris Avery, who does meet the #1 defense, led by Kendrick Golston, Darrell Hammond, and others.
The rare running play you'll get from the Grand Rapids Rampage. Chris Avery trying to find some room. Excellent job by the defensive line and linebacker. Tommy Dorsey didn't give ground initially. That forced Avery into a different spot. Kendrick Golston holding his position, came right down the line of scrimmage, filled in the gap, made the tackle.
We were talking to Clint the other day, and I said, what are you still just calling a couple of running plays? He goes, yeah, when the fullback starts complaining, he says, I'll give him the football. Dolezal. Cross route, Shaw, Terrell Shaw, touchdown #3 of the day. Terrell Shaw, 35 yards. That's the hat trick for him, with Willis Marshall keying the play with a nice block.
And once again, the target, #9, Scotty Lindsey. If you go, this is the type of game that you try and pick on those that you don't think can keep up. And Scotty Lindsey missed a tackle at the end of it. When we talked with Marty Lowe yesterday, great block downfield by Willis Marshall. Line shot again. And see, right there was where Lindsey has to make the tackle. And remember when where Lindsey went into the wall? And it appeared that Shaw did too. Remember, the wall is not out of bounds. You have to touch the out of bounds line in this league. He didn't do it. He waltzes in.
As we had said, that neat block by Marshall on Jarek Hillary. Extra point is no good for Brian Goins. You know what else was big on that play in general? The YAC stat, Y-A-C, yards after catch, 23 yards after that catch for the TD.
Papa John's presents a mouth-watering deal that'll put a smile on your face. Say cheese. Sticks. Free cheese sticks. When you buy a made-to-order large one-topping Papa John's pizza for just $9.99, John himself will toss in our delicious cheese sticks absolutely free. We start with Papa John's hand-tossed dough, garlic sauce, cheese made with 100% mozzarella, and 2 zesty sauces for dipping. Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and get free cheese sticks when you order a large one-topping pizza for only $9.99. We see you smiling.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
On April 11th.
I'm Mr. Busnick's anger management therapist.
You're in anger management?
Meet Dr. Buddy Rydell.
You think you can help him? If I can't, I'll tear him apart with my bare hands.
His methods are questionable.
I don't want you listening to any angry music.
The Carpenters are angry?
His technique is controversial. And the experience will be unforgettable.
I like to sleep in the nude.
Adam Sandler, Jack Nicholson, Anger Management. Rated PG-13. Opens April 11th.
Hey, Smith, you get a raise?
No, I got an Optima.
Introducing the Kia Optima midsize sedan.
Smith got a raise and options.
With available V6.
VP?
10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Smith's taking over.
Smith. And a starting price under $16,000.
Watch your back, Smith.
Smith Worldwide.
It'll just look like you got a raise. The Kia Optima. Right now, get 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back.
The AFL on NBC is being brought to you by Kia and the all-new Sorrento SUV. Kia, make every mile count. By Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza. By the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever. And by Old Spice. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Eli Gold. Set to kick it away are the Grand Rapids Rampage, who are just doing their normal deal. Georgia likes the other team to have to try and earn everything. Long drives. Grand Rapids is going upfield in a hurry and making it pay off. Live football, Markeith Cooper. Markeith Cooper to the 8-yard line. Shea Showers runs him off the play and tempers just a bit short.
Shea's had enough of people running over him. Nice aggressive tackle by Shea Showers, but Terrell Shaw is having a fantastic day. 4 catches total, 3 of them for touchdowns. Clint Dolezal knows how to find his favorite target. He is the offensive specialist whose specialty today is getting in the end zone. And you talked about yards after catch, partner. There's a big example of it. Marty Lowe, who is the offensive coordinator, head coach of Georgia, also coaches defensive backs, and he told them this week, you have to tackle in the secondary. You can't allow them to get downfield after they make the catch.
Those numbers, man, that was a nice day. That's just a quarter's worth. Markeith Cooper lays out to make a super grab. He lost Cecil Doggett and little Markeith Cooper at 5'6", 160. Lays out with a superb reception.
And watch, right at the line of scrimmage, loses him right off the top. Cecil Doggett attempting to get a jam. Markeith Cooper with a great move, works inside. No help deep for Cecil Doggett. And a beautiful extension for the football by Markeith Cooper, who's doing his best to make him forget that Tyrone Jones is injured.
29-yard pickup as Darrell Hammond couldn't hang on. You know, we were sitting down here yesterday morning downstairs, and you and I spent time with Coach Marty Lowe of Georgia, and I asked him, because I had seen Markeith Cooper play collegiately in the SEC. We asked that guy, I said, why is he not your regular offensive specialist? Well, quite frankly, Tyrone Jones has the experience. Markeith doesn't. He said you tend to go with the guy who's been around, but Markeith is proving himself. They weren't sure if he had the hands.
He's getting experience on the job, isn't he?
He is. Davis. Cooper. Touchdown. What a catch. Over top of Cecil Doggett. 13 yards. That is going to earn you another look from your head coach, Markeith Cooper.
And this is a play they worked on in practice yesterday, working one-on-one against Cecil Doggett, and it's really an option route. If Doggett had moved to the outside, Cooper would have gone into the inside. Since he moved to the inside, he goes to the outside. Beautiful touch pass by Donnie Davis.
He caught the back of the football.
That was too good. That was too wide open for him to not catch that football. He better catch it.
Steve McLaughlin with the extra point. They don't come any prettier than that touchdown pass. Watch it, the back of the football. But all you got to do is hang on. He did for 6. Touchdown, Georgia.
I know some interns who went the extra mile tonight. I'm one of them.
Whoa, very funny. Hey, turn the lights out. Oh, boy.
Is somebody there?
Just the tech support night shift.
Yeah, everybody thinks just because Dell makes such reliable PCs, we just punch out at 5.
But when someone does have a question, we are here 24/7, 365.
Yeah, that's what award-winning service and support is all about.
That's right. Someone's always around to help out. And let me tell you, we're certainly not afraid of the dark.
I'm a little afraid of the dark. Pull it together, Snyder.
Now you can get a Dimension desktop with a 17-inch monitor plus everything else you see here for just $4.99. For a limited time, you'll get free shipping. Visit our website for even more great offers. And check out our notebooks, too. You're not just getting a great deal, you're getting a Dell.
Sorry about that. There must be something wrong with the fuse or something.
America's favorite PC. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
Gentlemen, KFC is something unique and exciting. Hot wings.
Hot and crispy outside, tender inside. Hot wings only from KFC. Get 8 for only $2.99 or 20 for just $7.49.
I smell hot wings.
Monday, Fear Factor's going to Vegas, baby. All new and supersized in 90 minutes. With a mile-high slide down a pyramid. Plus, whoever wins the money will be forced to bet it on one hand of blackjack.
Wow.
Supersized Las Vegas Fear Factor at BC Monday.
We are back. The AFL on NBC. Markeith Cooper with a nice catch moments ago. Nice isn't the word for it. Steve Smith, the deep man now for Grand Rapids.
Had a kickoff return last week for a touchdown.
Off the metal, has to wait for it. Flags are down. And so too is the return man. Now the question here is, was there a 5-yard buffer area? You've still, even though the ball hits the net or hits the metal, whatever, there's still that 5-yard buffer zone that you have to give to the receiving team. That could be one of the options here. We'll listen to referee Pat Garvey.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team, number 7. That's a 5-yard penalty, added on to the end of the run.
And the 5-yard buffer zone you're talking about, they can't cross the 5-yard line until the ball is caught by the receiver. And Darrell Hammond is in that zone, but you know why he's in that zone?
He was running so fast that nobody touched him.
Well, that's one thing, but two, the ball took that extra little hop off of the metal, and it wasn't your normal off the net right to the guy. Yeah. So that threw off Darrell Hammond, and he committed the foul.
Also threw off Steve Smith, who had to wait the extra time. Quick pressure. Incomplete. Clint Dolezal was drilled by Jermaine Smith, and there are flags down.
He flushed Clint Dolezal so quickly. He was off on the snap. He was off about the same time the offensive line was out of his stance. Watch coming from your left, right here, Jermaine Smith. See how quickly he flushes him? But then at the end of the play, they're going to get Jermaine Smith for roughing the passer. See Clint Dolezal letting him know, hey, you don't need the little extra pop on me. You're going to get me right off the top.
The Lip Readers Association of America can well identify what was said. We'll leave it to your imagination.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 98. Leading with his helmet on the tackle. That's a first down.
You hear the emphasis Pat Garvey was giving that because Bob Cronenberg, the defense coordinator, was questioning him the whole time he was making the call. So I think he was talking more to Bob Cronenberg than he was actually letting us know. And Bob Cronenberg very upset by that penalty. It should have been a great play by Jermaine Smith because he forced the incompletion.
Of course, the other thing that Jermaine Smith does is he literally takes away part of your game plan. There's part of the Grand Rapids playbook, we'll talk more in a second, that they just can't use here today. Oh, and he grabs a hold of the quarterback, and here's another flag on Jermaine. As the football is down inside the 5-yard line, that's going to be a face mask, inadvertent, but nevertheless a face mask. The two combatants parted and patted each other on their respective cabooses. No hard feelings, but it was there.
No doubt about the call. Watch Jermaine Smith coming from the left side again. Watch where he comes, right as you see him. Actually, he's got a case for being held by the offensive lineman, but you see over the top, his left hand getting on Clint Dolezal's mask. He knew it as soon as he did it, and he turned right around and said, Clint wasn't trying to do that on purpose.
It's to the point now where Rod Manuel has to try and just hang on. But what were the coaches telling us this morning? They said there are just some plays in our playbook we can't use because Smith is in so quickly.
He's in so quickly and he comes so tight when he comes on his rush. He doesn't widen upfield, which allows you a gap to run underneath him or inside him. He's got a straight path to the quarterback. The guy blocking him has a tough assignment. Looks like Corey Mayfield is getting that assignment on the left side of the line now.
Avery is the fullback. Avery's got the football. He is hauled down at the 3-yard line by Tommy Dorsey. Anyway, Rampage knocking at the door. We're going to get a scoreboard update from New York. Al?
All right, Eli. Now, the storyline is the Dragons 0-5, looking for their first win, relying on the best quarterback statistically in the league, Aaron Garcia.
You know what? He finds a wide open Mike Furry, just does a deep out. Mike Furry, this is his first TD of the game, but it's Aaron Garcia's fourth to 4 receivers.
27-20 right now. Back to you.
And that means Garcia has 484 career touchdowns current to the moment, and Kelly at 492 in that rush to 500. Nice pump fake, and he throws it away. Once you pump fake, what that also does is allow the linebackers to leave the box. All bets are off at that point. So Dolezal had to do something or eat the football.
You're going to get the Mac linebacker rushing anyway. It means that Jack is now free after the pump fake. A little pop at the end, but no flag, and rightly so. Wasn't worth the penalty. It wasn't worth the penalty called by the referee. But the reason that play worked well for Georgia, Kevin Gaines, number 21, took away the initial receiver that Clint Dolezal wanted to throw the ball to. Nowhere else to go. Like a true veteran, he gets rid of it in the stands.
Dolezal had completed 7 passes in a row before that incompletion. Flags are down. The play clock was down to 0. So the delay of game on the Grand Rapids offense. It'll be their first penalty of the day.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, number 13 on the offense.
Something rare that will happen with Grand Rapids not managing the clock with Clint Dolezal in the game. He talks with his offensive coordinator, Sparky McEwen, between every play. Then he comes back to the huddle, gives the play, and off they go. Clint very rarely lets time get away from him.
This does, however, give the offense a little more room with which to work. Inside the 5, their offense is very limited because the field gets so tight with only an 8-yard end zone. Here are a few extra yards with which to work. Shaw in motion. They look his way, and it's intercepted by Gaines. Intercepted with flags down. Kevin Gaines, his 3rd interception in the last couple of ball games. He had 2 last weekend against Los Angeles, but there are flags down.
This one should be negated by roughing the passer.
It is roughing the passer.
See, at this point, the Georgia Force have a motion going for them, and they're going to have to throttle it back just a tad because the official is definitely looking out for the quarterback. So anything close is going against Georgia at this point.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 90 on the defense. Attack the quarterback's knees.
Watch Kevin Gaines. He's out in coverage on one person, comes back inside, reads Clint Dolezal. Excellent coverage. But watch at the end of the play. Tony Henderson, number 90. That's why he got the penalty. He was at his knees, and that's exactly what Pat Garvey told us. They will protect the quarterback very well in this league, whether it's a blow to the head, going at his knees when no one else is there, and the ball was already gone. I think it's a good call by Pat Garvey.
Hey, we have seen major penalties on this drive, 3 already against the Georgia Force. Flags are down. Play clock is at 0s. Play clock is at 0s. That's the 2nd delay against Grand Rapids in this series.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense number 13, 5-yard penalty.
Way to go, Forceman.
And that, frankly, that doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, for them, play clock's right in front of them. They had plenty of time after a penalty to get the play and get in the huddle and get moving. And now Clint Dolezal is now moving with a sense of urgency with his team. But that's 2 today that ordinarily you don't see happen with the Grand Rapids Rampage.
Heck, even referee Pat Garvey had a disgusted look on his face when he made that call. Dolezal under pressure. The shovel pass. Incomplete. It is incomplete. And who was there? Jermaine Smith, the man putting the pressure on Dolezal.
Great combination by the defensive line, partner, because Jermaine Smith makes one play, but Tony Henderson makes another. See how fast he gets flushed by Jermaine Smith? But inside, Tony Henderson made the hit on the shovel pass to Terrell Shaw. See, watch there. Bang! Henderson makes the hit. So Shaw is now no longer open to catch the football. Great job by the 2 defensive linemen for Georgia.
I mean, Smith there. He is a long-time NFLer. This time, nobody picks up Steve Smith for the touchdown. 9 yards on the strike. It took a while, and now they're looking at each other. Scotty Lindsey does the Alphonse Gaston right there, along with Kevin Gaines. I thought you had him. No, I thought you had him. Nobody had him.
It was such a quick slant route in between coverage that when I saw Kevin Gaines talking with Scotty Lindsey, I'm wondering if Kevin Gaines wasn't saying, we had a zone called there. I needed for you to drop back into that zone, because if it were a zone, Scotty Lindsey would have dropped back into about the spot that the ball was delivered.
Brian Goins sneaks that one inside the left upright. Well, we had about everything on that drive except an attack of locusts. We're back in a minute.
Hey, Smith, you get a raise? No, I got an Optima.
Introducing the Kia Optima midsize sedan.
Smith got a raise and options.
With available V6.
VP?
10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Smith's taking over.
Smith. And a starting price under $16,000.
Watch your back, Smith.
Smith Worldwide.
It'll just look like you got a raise. The Kia Optima. Right now, get 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back.
I'm gonna give you the big half of mine. There you go, honey.
Enjoy.
Sharing feeds the soul. Bring a friend and try Denny's new hoagie melts. The hearty filling melt smothered in melted Swiss cheese. Or the delicious chicken melt covered with tangy cheddar. Try Denny's hoagie melts. And remember, sharing is good. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
Introducing new body wash from Old Spice.
When I walk through a jam, no one knows who I am. Put my love to the test, and I'm Mr. Success.
It has a dual action formula, so you'll get really clean, smell really great.
Hey, Ben. Need help with your anatomy homework?
You!
New body wash from Old Spice. Spice things up.
NBC tonight, an exceptional hour of an exceptional show. Boomtown.
I am a police officer. I am being held prisoner.
To save a life, they race the clock.
Get him out! We have no time to waste.
The episode Entertainment Weekly calls a TikTok thriller.
We're not done.
All new Boomtown, NBC tonight, 10/9 Central.
Welcome back. Grand Rapids with an outstanding offense. Georgia with the superb defense. I mean, right there, when you look at points per game, they're third in the AFL, Georgia is. But in total defense, they're still number one.
So what's the key to the game? The Grand Rapids defense. Can they stop Georgia's offense? Because they feel like Georgia's defense, as good as they are, they're still going to score points against them. So can Grand Rapids defense keep Georgia's offense down?
Here's Kevin Gaines playing the football after Markeith Cooper could not haul it in. Rod Manuel on the stop. Let's go back to that last drive, Charles. That was one of the more unusual ones we've seen.
Yeah, if you think you want to be a quarterback because it's all glamour, watch this sequence. Clint Dolezal getting a face mask. Clint Dolezal taking a shot at the knees. Clint Dolezal with more pressure from Jermaine Smith, but he hung in there the whole way. And we called him a cowboy at the top of the show. He's a tough old Wrangler, isn't he? Stayed in there the whole time from East Texas State, the alma mater of his head coach, Michael Trigg, and delivered the touchdown pass at the end of a very difficult drive.
Clint says, I need all the money I can get. He said, I got to go to Dallas next week. The Rampage playing in Dallas, and he's from the area. He's already purchased 70 tickets for that ball game as we have timeout being taken by the Georgia Force. So as we work late in the first half, there are the numbers. We're back in a moment.
Give me a backpack.
Welcome back to Duluth, Georgia, just 30 miles outside of downtown Atlanta. Donnie Davis sends the men in motion. Quick screen, Markeith Cooper. Markeith Cooper hustles for the first down yardage. Got around Cecil Doggett, but Willis Marshall puts him away.
Donnie Davis missed some time. He missed the game against San Jose because of a left index finger problem. He couldn't handle the snap from center, so he missed that game. James Brown came in and led him to victory against San Jose, but we're talking about tough quarterbacks. Donnie Davis also playing in pain today.
Yeah, he also had his right wrist taped up, as we saw here at practice yesterday.
He's got that covered today, doesn't he?
Davis loads up to Cooper. 18-yard line. So how tough is it going to be for Tyrone Jones when he gets healthy, takes that ripped flak jacket off to get back into the lineup? That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very difficult because right now Markeith Cooper has the hot hand and the confidence. The catch that he made in the corner of the end zone today was a much better catch than even I realized when we saw it on replay when we were away for a while, because the ball was delivered maybe a count late, and he had to catch the ball and face the wall. Catches the back end of it, tucks it away. Right now he's catching everything coming to him. Tyrone Jones supporting him, but wondering about next week. That's going to be a little bit of an offsides.
He's about a 17-yard offside. While we sort out the flags, we go to New York. And Al Troutwig with an update. Al?
Eli, check out this spectacular catch at the Nassau Coliseum.
You know, William Holder does a great job, gets up to the apex of that to catch that ball, but unfortunately, you gotta know the wall is out of bounds in the end zone.
Didn't count, looked great, didn't matter really. The Dragons scored on the next play. Extra point is good, 34-27, back to Georgia.
Hey, we got a battle going on. That kind of a catch right there, and the one we're seeing here from Markeith Cooper, the honors for catch of the day, still up for grabs.
Markeith's got to count because his actually went for a touchdown. The other one was out of bounds.
Davis under pressure, sidearms it. Golston, Kendrick Golston, numbering inside the 15, down to about the 11-yard line. Second reception of the year. Had one for 17 yards last time out.
Great call by Marty Lowe because they've been attacking downfield, and now he comes back with the screen. And what a good move by Donnie Davis, because Joe Wiley was applying pressure. The only way he could get the ball over Wiley was to go drop it and throw it sidearm. Takes the one step outside, throws it sidearm, gets it to his tight end. Big game.
Donnie Davis, they like him in these parts. He played collegiately at Georgia Tech. Trying to go is the big guy, Curran. Curran, touchdown. Nothing fancy. Just give it to the big guy on the toss and let him go. It'll be a touchdown of 10 yards. And for Curran, his second TD of the afternoon.
Great job again by Georgia, just allowing Dan Curran to get to the corner. And once he does, he turns it upfield, has defensive backs to take on, brushes the wall, but never steps on the sideline. Barrels his way into the end zone for another touchdown run.
Interestingly, 3 touchdowns today for Georgia. All 3 have been on the ground. Curran has 2. I should say they have 4 touchdowns. 3 have been on the ground, and just 1 through the air, the Davis to Cooper. But Curran with a pair. Dorsey also running well. And the extra point is up and good. We have come to the 1-minute warning now, as we're a minute away from this first half being in the books. We've got a good one going. It's a 1-point affair.
Hey guys, meet the new guy.
Hi, I'm Bob Holtkamp.
Hey, help yourself to some snacks.
Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything.
I can almost taste it.
Telling me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Yeah, thanks.
Wendy's, it's better here.
Just your brokerage statement, Al.
Avoiding your portfolio won't make it any better. We've extended the Fresh Start offer to help more investors get back on track. Call 1-800-4-SCHWAB or visit a Schwab Investor Center by March 31st.
The first major advance for the fastest treatment of athlete's foot is Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT is the first non-prescription medicine proven to kill the fungus with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. Lotrimin AF and Tinactin still expect you to treat for 4 weeks. Who's gonna do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
PGA Tour leading money winner Mike Weir goes for his 3rd win of the year. The final round of the Ford Championship at Doral coming up next on NBC.
Well, if you like your offense, you've come to the right building. 8 possessions by these two teams, 8 touchdowns collectively. Dolezal and Davis have combined to throw for 304 yards and 5 TDs. Willis Marshall is deep. Big seam up the middle. Willis Marshall loses it. Covered up by Grand Rapids. The Rampage recover it. Compliments of Lamar Grant. He will cover it up near midfield.
Twice now they've recovered their own fumbles after kickoffs. This time Willis Marshall gets a nice gap. Ball sprung free by Marcus Keys, number 75 for Georgia, but on the spot is Lamar Grant, keeping the ball in the possession of Grand Rapids.
Former Duke Blue Devil, Lamar Grant, coming up big.
This is the second time today on a kickoff return that Grand Rapids has been fortunate enough to recover their own fumble.
Clint Dolezal at quarterback. He's 10 of 14, 150 yards. This time the running play. Chris Avery across midfield down to the 22 of Georgia.
You talked about all the offense today. No one has stopped anyone. A stop in our terminology is when the offense does not score a touchdown on a possession. Thus far today, 0 stops for either team. Now this is coming off from last week with Georgia. 3 stops and 3 turnovers they caused against Los Angeles, 2 4th down stops against them last week. Last week, Grand Rapids, 7 stops against Carolina.
Smith. Nice move. Nice move down to the 10-yard line. Steve Smith around Scott Thomas. Jarek Hillary finally has to put him away.
Not only did he make the great move on Thomas, he froze 2 other defenders in the area. Watch him move back on Thomas. Gaines can't make the move on him, neither can Lindsey, but Lindsey stays with it, forces him to the sidelines, and then Steve Smith says, you know, that's enough dancing around. I'll go to the sideline now, stop the clock, and give us another chance.
Just 14 seconds remaining until halftime. Shaw in motion. They look his way for another touchdown off his fingertips and complete. Looking for Shaw, who already has 3 touchdown catches today.
They actually were almost hurt by having 2 receivers in the same area. Steve Smith was short, and Terrell Shaw was deep. That allowed Jarek Hillary to almost cover both of them, meaning the ball had to be thrown a little bit higher to get it over him. Tough throw by Clint Dolezal. Would have been an unbelievable catch by Terrell Shaw.
You see the time remaining. Grand Rapids has 3 timeouts left. Willis Marshall can't hang on. And the clock stops on the incompletion in the final minute of each half with just 5 seconds remaining.
It's a quick slant route. Clint Dolezal has plenty of arm to put it there, and if you're Willis Marshall, you know I'm going into traffic, I have to make the catch and absorb the hit. Unable to come down with that one.
That is Scotty Lindsey, the wide receiver defensive back out of Stephen F. Austin, who is hurt on the play. He's number 4 tackler on the ball club and has broken up 5 passes already in the first few weeks of the season.
And normally a 2-way guy has moved to the defensive specialist spot with the injury earlier to Cliff Green.
So they tend to Scotty Lindsey, who will take the opportunity to break away. This is the AFL on NBC.
I like the skate. I don't like the sweat. I use Red Zone because it's the strongest stuff you can get, made just for guys. It absorbs in and helps stop sweat, period. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. Dude, think about it. Would they guarantee it if it didn't work? Red Zone from Old Spice.
So what has the gunslinger from Texas decided to do?
Go, 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 go.
Clint Dalzell says, I'm going for it. The coaches say, you're calling the plays, my friend. Have at it.
Now, Michael Trigg second-guessed himself a little bit in a game against Tampa in this type of situation. He's going to go for it again.
Throws it up the middle, no good. And that is it. The clock is at 0. The clock is at 0. Now, Grand Rapids is going to say that there should be 1 second remaining. You have to factor in the human element of can you stop the clock with a couple tenths. They cannot. It is halftime. It is halftime. What happened was the clock was at 1 second and was turning to 0 just as the football flew incomplete. There's no way a human being could stop the clock in that time despite the protests of Jermaine Smith.
And watch the end of the play. Watch the end of this last play. Look to the left. Jermaine Smith being brought to the ground saying, hey, I'm being held all day long. You call penalties on my team. What about their team?
So they're complaining about the clock, but we never complain when our time runs out because we know Al Troutwig and the guys are standing by at Studio 3B. Gentlemen?
You say hi to the Grand Rapids, Georgia audience. It's a 1-point game as we welcome you to the AFL Live. We're going to take you through the highlights, and as we will every Sunday, we're going to talk about NFL things that are happening because it's all about football here on Sundays on NBC. Now, what I want to know is, give me your take on what happened with David Boston, his relationship with Arizona, and why he went to San Diego.
Well, I think the relationship soured. We talked about this a little bit last week. Obviously, the Cardinals believed that he wasn't over his problems. That's kind of the word that was out on the street. Yet, John Butler at San Diego knows talent and knows they can get one of the better wide receivers in the league by getting this guy. He takes the same price that Arizona was offering. Why? He wants out of there, obviously.
But let's look at a big picture also. David Boston is saying, I had nobody
to play with. How good is this guy?
He's a great ball player. He's a great ball player. But last year, he did not play as well because everybody, the cat's out of the bag. He's a great wide receiver. They started rolling coverage to him. He's saying, I have nobody to play with in Arizona. So now he goes to San Diego. Great running back in LaDainian Tomlinson. They stack the line of scrimmage. He'll get a chance to make a lot of plays with one-on-one coverage.
Arizona loses him, and they lose Jake Plummer. Yeah. More evidence as to why they don't win.
And why they don't win.
Let's talk now about the next story. Cordell Stewart. I thought he had proven himself in the National Football League, but he's released by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now he's being courted by a few teams, as the story goes.
And it's very important to Cordell. I love Cordell, but he must make the right choice on what team to play for. Cordell did a great job in Pittsburgh maintaining a football team. The years that they went to the AFC Championship game, Cordell had a #1 defense and a #1 rush offense. Sounds like he needs to sign with Baltimore because they play the same type of football. They have a #1 defense with a great rush offense. You cannot ask Cordell to pass and throw the ball to win a football game, but he can maintain a football team.
I agree. I think he's a system quarterback. Cordell's the type of guy that has to be in the system that's going to treat him right. He has to have the tools around him. He's made 80 starts so far in his career. He's almost 30 years old, so he's coming to the prime of his career, but he cannot be the go-to guy. He has to prove he's a leader also.
Let's consider the age of Tommy Maddox. You have a blank sheet of paper. You're the GM. Your choice. Tommy Maddox, Cordell Stewart. Who's your guy?
Well, I'm looking in the draft. I don't know. I got a guy.
So
I got to get a young
Tommy
guy.
Maddox, the man of the moment.
That's right. Man
I
of the
take
moment.
Tommy Maddox because now teams are extending the Pittsburgh defense and throwing the ball against them. They didn't do as well last year. Tommy Maddox, he can throw the football and get some points on the board and get them on there quick.
All right, let's go to the New York highlights as they took on the LA Avengers at the Nassau Coliseum. You know the story by now. 0-5, new coach coaching his team for the second straight game. I'll get it out. Aaron Garcia to Chris Anthony, tying the game at 14 right here after Graziani felt some Dragons pressure.
Well, you know what you're going to see? Here's Garcia, Anthony in the corner, and you're going to get another one from him. He just keeps throwing that ball around. He's got 4 different receivers catching the ball. This is a nice pass to Mike Furry. Mike Furry gets his first one of the game. And now this is the best part. This is what I love the AFL. He's got to take those gloves off after making a touchdown so he can hold for the extra point. The guy does it all for him. It's amazing. He's the return man. He's everything to that team. Now we're going to see. Here's the wall. It's out of bounds in the end zone. It doesn't count count. Great catch, but doesn't count.
But right after that, the Dragons did it again. So 34-30, they lead the LA Avengers, who have a 2-game losing streak themselves, halftime at the Nassau Coliseum.
Defense.
In the Gwinnett Center, Michael, tell me what's going on in this game.
Well, you see Duel, he hits Terrell Shaw on a great pass. Terrell Shaw did a great job of getting his body between the defensive back in the football. And he goes again. We talked about that forward motion a couple weeks ago. It gives Terrell Shaw great opportunity to make a play, and that's what you call rack, run after catch. Glenn, you don't know anything about that. That's rack. Big guys, you don't get a chance to do that. Now look at that grab. That's the grab I was talking about by Marquise Cooper in the corner of the end zone, and then of course Steve Smith comes back and just make one grab. But that catch was an incredible catch.
All right, the Georgia Force are playing well. Their defense looks good. Offensively, they're obviously good. The question is, why will Marty Lowe return phone calls to you, but not to you?
I don't know. I talked to Marty Lowe, and I said, Marty Lowe, Glenn, he's beating you down on the set. He says you will not return his phone call. Marty said that's not true.
Oh, come on.
He says you're not doing your homework and you're not calling. So maybe he's lying to us.
Can I say something? You know, there's a gruff exterior here, but the comments about not knowing about running after the catch, about this, you know, there's a child in here, and you're hurting him, okay?
Sorry.
You're hurting him.
I don't know. It sounds personal. Marty Lowe, please call Glenn Parker Collective.
You've got my numbers.
Come on, Marty. NFL Live. We'll have updates in the second
I'm a human.
half. Goodbye from New York. You'll get back to your game after this.
Thursday, it's all-new must-see TV comedy with a shocking Friends.
I'm dead?
Well, that's one way to impress the ladies.
I guess I really missed my chance.
No, you didn't!
Then an all-new Scrubs welcomes Jay Moore, Dr. Cox style. And on Will and Grace, a showdown between Will and Jack. And the winner is...
Will.
Yes! Yes! What?
Plus, Fred Drescher's coming to...
NBC!
On an all-new Good Morning Miami, all-new must-see TV Thursday.
Attention pizza lovers, it's hot, it's cheesy, it's loaded with pepperoni, and it's ready when you are. It's Little Caesars Hot and Ready Pizza Day. Tomorrow, swing into Little Caesars and we'll take care of dinner with a large, hot and delicious pepperoni pizza for only $5. That's $5 for a large Little Caesars pepperoni pizza, hot out of the oven and ready when you are. Only at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Let's see how Chevy Silverado measures up against this Ford F-150. Ford F-150 has more available payload and room from here to here and here to here, and offers more power to take you from here to here. And now returning lessees can get a Ford F-150 XLT Super Cab 4x4 for just $311 per month on a 24-month lease. So don't waste time there. Get the world's best-selling truck from here to here. See your neighborhood Ford dealer today.
Hit it!
The drive for the playoffs is on, and the Fury are looking to repeat. Don't miss any of the action. Plenty of great games are left. Tickets on sale now.
Being a mom isn't so much a title as it is a calling, and Meyer is there at every turn. You're a spiritual guide, a leader, an example. You're a planner, a doer. You're a mom. There's never been a more important job. There's never been a better store.
24-hour News 8 at 6 weeknights is on the SAP channel in Spanish.
Halftime here at the Gwinnett Center in Duluth, Georgia. The Force by a point on the Grand Rapids Rampage. Welcome back, Eli Gold and Charles Davis. You know, you had no trouble getting a call back from Marty Lowe. He actually called us before we even had a chance to call him. I wonder why he's snubbing Glenn like that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Glenn, but Glenn, maybe you might send him a little gift or something. I'm not sure what it is, but we get the calls.
Vidalia onions or something?
Something.
That would work. Folks, you've had an interesting first half of play here. 330 yards of total offense, and The only people who've been able to stop Grand Rapids is the scoreboard operator. They ran out of time.
Yeah, that's the only stop of the half. It accounts for Georgia as one, but Grand Rapids ran out of time before they could run one last play. But a key to the first half, really, for both teams, 0 turnovers. The defense is unable to slow them down or turn the ball over. Grand Rapids twice came close, dropped 2 kickoff returns. They were able to recover both of them.
Kevin Gaines did have 1 interception. It was negated by penalty. 1 injury update. Ricky Ross is back on the bench with crutches, a high ankle sprain. The word is that they'll check it out when he returns home, but so far the x-rays are negative. The second half is just around the corner.
Well, we went out searching for some waves. It was pretty mellow, actually.
Man, chill out. I'm trying to eat.
The car ride out was good, except Luke kept taking his shoes off. Luke!
Oh. Foul, Luke.
We found the secret little surf spot. When we got there, the beach was totally empty. After a whole day of surfing, we just wanted to crash out.
The new Honda Element. Go with it.
My name is David. I play offense. I play center. I play guard.
I play defense. Vincent. I play linebacker.
I play running back.
I play fullback.
My name's Casey, and I play football.
Now, youth players and coaches can learn football from the NFL with the Junior Player Development Interactive DVD Kit. To register to get your kit, go to NFLYouthFootball.com.
This is a football. This is Arena Football. The Arena Football League. Players battle both ways, offense and defense. And the walls, ooh, the walls. With fans so close, it hurts. And scoring so high, you just might need oxygen. The Arena Football League. For tickets to the AFL team near you, call 1-866-AFL-TIXS today. Football's in the house.
Get under center in a moment. And welcome to those of you who have been watching Grand Rapids in Georgia. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, and Lewis Johnson at the Nassau Coliseum. And the penalty against New York will be half the distance to the goal. And we apologize for those of you watching Georgia and Grand Rapids for some of the audio difficulties. Hope you can hear us well from the Nassau Coliseum. We've had an offensive show here in the first half. Yeah. This will be the first play from scrimmage in the third quarter. Aaron Garcia, the quarterback for the Dragons, and Tony Graziani, his Los Angeles counterpart, have been superb. And Furry on the receiving end of the pass drilled by Garcia to the 20-yard line, and a New York first down. Well, this year, Denny's is putting together Denny's Great Uniform Giveaway. Go to Denny's and sign up for a chance for your local team to win uniforms provided by Majestic Athletic. This week's winner, Julie Mullins from San Luis Obispo, California, who won uniforms for her ladies tackle football team named the Heat. And in true AFL spirit, Julie is the quarterback and free safety.
I understand she's a very good free safety.
Garcia. And a nice catch made with a flag down. And one of the issues has been the protection that Garcia gets. He's gotten excellent.
And we welcome you back now to the Gwinnett Center Arena. We thank Tom Hammond and Pat Hayden for jumping in like that as We had just a little audio glitch, but we are glad to be back with you. You talk about glitches. Grand Rapids not only losing Ricky Ross earlier, word moments ago is that Steve Smith, their outstanding offensive specialist, has a shoulder sprain, and he is going to be limited the rest of the way. They're breaking up that Grand Rapids gang.
Yeah, the great trio of receivers that they already possess. You got two of them now who are dinged up a little bit, and Steve Smith is having an excellent first half, had a touchdown catch, a couple great moves in the open field. I know that they want to pick their spots on when they use them in the second half.
So here we go, second half of play, set to begin. Brian Goins to Markeith Cooper, 8 yards deep. Nice block. See ya. You're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Markeith Cooper. It'll be 57 yards. His previous long run back was 12 yards. Welcome. Look at big number. Look at Keys, Marcus Keys just picking him up like a rag doll.
And Grand Rapids now getting a taste of their own medicine. Grand Rapids leads the league in kick return yardage and in kick return numbers. But now Georgia coming right back at him, and Markeith Cooper oh so fast. Brian Goins, the kicker, has no shot.
The former Auburn Tiger electrifying the crowd here in Gwinnett County. Steve McLaughlin adds the extra points, and that quickly. Georgia is up 35-27. Markeith Cooper.
And we give a lot of credit to the kick return guy, but what about the guys blocking for him? Look at all the space he has. They picked up everyone on the wall to give him the angle, cutting it back to his left. And when you get one-on-one with the kicker, you need to win that battle as a kick return. That's exactly what Markeith Cooper did.
Kevin Gaines and Dan Curran were the fellows that Charles was talking about there with the nice blocks on the run back. So Markeith Cooper, who collegiately used to return kicks for the Auburn Tigers. He was a tailback who moved to wide receiver, but was an outstanding kick return man. And you're right, you can't teach speed. When you get a step or two like that and you've got 4.2 ability, forget it.
And remember, Georgia found Markeith Cooper driving a UPS truck.
That's right.
And he came out and ran for them at a tryout on a wet track. And they say he ran a 4.3 or better on the wet track. Doesn't take a brain surgeon at that point to sign a guy and give him an opportunity.
McLaughlin kicking it off. Willis Marshall is deep. He steps out of bounds after making the catch. It'll be a touchback. So it's a touchback, and Grand Rapids will start from their own 5-yard line.
And in the first half, we talked about how Grand Rapids, the key to the game for them was how they could stop Georgia. Instead, it's turned around where Georgia, at the end of the half, stopped Grand Rapids with the help of the clock running out and takes the second half kickoff and runs it all the way back. So Georgia has the momentum going now.
And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the injury to Ricky Ross. Now the sprained shoulder to Steve Smith, as you see Donnie Davis, the quarterback there in the middle of the screen. There really is no third wide receiver on the depth charts because Darren Graham, who was technically number 3, isn't on the road trip. They go to Willis Marshall. And Marshall's out to the 13-yard line. Willie Gary stops it.
So what they've done, Eli, is Dante Brown, who's supposed to play defense mainly for them. As we see Steve Smith on the side, there he is, number 25, Dante Brown out of Central State of Ohio, the Marauders, who got his first arena football action last week for Grand Rapids, had an interception in his first game this year for them, now has to go and play two-way for them. And we talked with Michael Trigg yesterday, and what did he tell us? This guy could be a good two-way guy for us. I don't think he expected it to be today.
High off the hands of Terrell Shaw, incomplete. Dante Brown, a man who we were just speaking, has a game in the NFL as a defensive back. He was a DB in college. But after beginning the year with the Dallas Desperados, they weren't sure if Dante Brown was ready to go. He was let go, picked up by Grand Rapids, and they have the depth to take a flyer on a guy and let him learn. the Arena Football League game.
And they really want to use him more on defense, but today, due to injuries, he's going to have to go both ways.
Marshall, between 3 defenders, gets out to the 24-yard line. Willie Gary puts him down. Willis Marshall had caught only 21 passes coming into this, the 6th game of the year. He's now up to 3 receptions. They'll start working with him a bit more.
The good thing about Willis Marshall is he's a guy who knows how to step up. In college at Youngstown State, 3 national championships, a CFL championship. This guy knows how to win.
Handoff, big hole, Avery, Chris Avery. A runaway truck to the 9. Jarek Hillary finally acting as the speed bump after a 17-yard lumber for Chris Avery.
So difficult to run in this league because you're outnumbered in terms of blockers versus defenders. But when you get a chance to run, you try and run towards the jack linebacker, who's usually the smaller linebacker. Great hole as they came upfield. Willie Gary unable to make the tackle initially. Jarek Hillary, number 1, holding on before Kendrick Golston gets some help from Dan Curran.
Hosell outside finds Shaw. Terrell Shaw down to the 3 in front of Jarek Hillary. That's 2nd down and goal upcoming, as you see, from the 3-yard line. Terrell.
Very efficient, too. 3 touchdowns out of his 6 catches.
Comes from a great football family. His brother Harold Shaw, you might remember, a 3-year running back in the NFL with the New England Patriots.
Played here with Grand Rapids, too.
Pressure, Souvenir. And they can't hang on to it.
Again, the veteran experience of Clint Dolezal not forcing a ball into traffic. Great coverage in the secondary by the Georgia force. Kendrick Golston helping flush him out of the pocket.
Dan Curran, also 34, coming up the middle.
Yes.
Fullback linebacker.
Yeah, the Mac linebacker up the middle. Golston off the edge. Dolezal gets rid of it. Comes back on 3rd down.
And this is the longest drive of the day now. This will be the 7th snap of this drive for Grand Rapids.
Hurry!
We've seen some 6-play drives, not a 7 today. Everybody's covered. That one is intercepted or not? Yes, it is a touchback. It is a touchback. Darrell Hammond and Kevin Gaines both in the corner to pick off Dolezal.
See a flag in the back of the end zone. Be curious to see the call. Watch Terrell Shaw going.
Roughing the passer play. There's the toss. Flags are down. That play never happened, even though Avery crosses the goal line.
They've been cutting it close on the delay of game. I think they got him again.
Pregame offense, number 13. Repeat the down.
That is the 3rd time that Grand Rapids has been hit with a delay of game. And in this league, you don't see it often at all. And in Grand Rapids' scheme of things, you never see it. So now, Michael Trigg, who looks for win number 70.
7-yard line. Keep it going.
To become one of the few coaches to reach that mark. Nothing there on the right side for Chris Avery. Nothing there for Chris Avery. Marcus Keys was not fooled, and Darrell Hammond comes up limping.
That's exactly what they tried to do, was fool them. They ran a spread formation to the wide side of the field, put everyone to that side, and then toss the ball to the short side, hoping flow would dictate that Georgia would run to the wide side of the field.
Marty Lowe, head coach of Georgia, and as we said, far and away now, the longest drive of the afternoon for either team. Shaw's in motion. Looking, knocked away. Willie Gary was a little late in getting there, but he got there in time to disrupt Terrell Shaw and knocked it away.
And the reason that he made a good play is because he didn't panic. He realizes that he's beat here, but watch how he focuses strictly on Terrell Shaw's eyes and arms. And when his arms came up for the football, that's when Willie Gary made his move, came up through the arms, and knocked it away. Excellent play by Willie Gary.
He's played with St. Louis in the NFL, played with the Scottish Claymores in NFL Europe, Willie Gary. Play clock at 3, 2, 1. They just get it off. And he fumbles the ball. It's covered up. Dolezal brought his hand forward, fumbled the football, and it's covered up by Georgia. What a wild turn of events here in Gwinnett County.
And part of the problem that Grand Rapids is having is that they're having to rush up to the line of scrimmage and try and get a play off because they're still concerned about the play clock. Dolezal just pump fakes, drops the ball, and now Georgia's in business.
That was 9 plays in 7 minutes. They get nothing.
Help yourself to some snacks. Speaking of which, you know what would taste good about now?
Yeah, a big, hot and juicy cheeseburger.
With everything.
I can almost taste it.
Telling me, if there were a place to get a hamburger that good this late, I'd not only drive, I'd buy.
Really?
Wendy's classic hamburgers are made fresh, so they're always hot and juicy, so you can eat great even late.
You must be the new guy.
Yeah, thanks. Wendy's, it's better here.
Oh man, the trip was beyond expectations. Corey wore that marker on his face for a good 4 hours, I think. We had to stop like 9 or 10 times, just for Matt. We got up there, it snow dumped on us, fresh powder. So we built this jump, built a nice lip on it for Sam to go off. He didn't know that we built the lip. The girls at the hot tub were awesome, but for some reason, we didn't have much success. I don't know, maybe we'll have better luck next year.
The new Honda Element. Go with it.
The AFL on NBC is being brought to you by the new Honda Element. Go with it. By Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. And by Wendy's classic hamburgers. It's better here.
What a way to end a sequence. 9 plays, 41 yards, 7+ minutes on a drive, and they get nothing out of it. 0 points, and we see the quarterback, Clint Dolezal, showing his emotion after the drive ended with his fumble when he tried to pump fake a pass, and the ball slipped out of his hands, and Jermaine Smith of Georgia fell on it.
What will be interesting in the postgame is to find out why they have been so late in getting plays off.
Yeah, that's a great question because that doesn't ordinarily happen in this league, especially now with a quarterback as experienced as Dolezal.
And they're going for the jugular. Thomas overthrown. He was open at steps on Dante Brown, but they overthrew the soon-to-be Los Angeles public servant, Scott Thomas.
One of the things you run into in this league is with guys playing both ways, they came out of college usually with a specialty, either offense or defense. Scott Thomas was a defensive guy. So yeah, it stands to reason that running routes is not going to be his strength because sometimes these guys who aren't used to running them give up on routes a little bit easier than the guys who are used to running them. Maybe Scott Thomas should have kept running.
Quick screen. Thomas. See ya. Touchdown, Georgia. 43 yards, 38 of those yards coming after the catch. You heard Michael Irvin talking about run after catch during halftime. We've been talking about yards after the catch. Same thing. He ran for 38 after the grab.
And he didn't have to worry about being downfield and bending his route for the ball. It's just a quick screen to him that he cut back across the grain. And we see the speed of Scott Thomas as he takes it all the way to the house.
Great story to talk about shortly regarding Scott Thomas as Steve McLaughlin hits the extra point. 38 yards after the catch and the 43-yard screen. Davis to Thomas, Georgia up 42-27.
Yeah. I need your help. We're missing 3 and the sergeant.
They're dead, aren't they? It's not like that.
It's not.
Deception is simple.
Ken will tell you about the other operation. What other operation?
Betrayal is easy.
Guys like West disappear for a reason.
The truth is basic.
Well. What have we got here?
From director John McTiernan.
I am your objective, right?
John Travolta.
I want to see what happens when you lie.
Basic.
I want a lawyer.
Oh, how about them Yankees?
Rated R. In theaters everywhere, March 28th.
Right now at TGI Fridays, 2 can share an appetizer and pick 2 of Friday's favorite entrees from our special menu for just $19.99. It's one delicious deal.
Well, we had an amazing road trip. It was incredible. There's nothing better than getting the guys together and hanging out for the weekend. We got a little lost on the way. Eric had the map.
Once again, you're pointing here, he's pointing over there.
247?
247! Thank you!
Yeah, we mountain biked, I did a little rock climbing. We met some friends out there, some girls. Somebody came in acting like an idiot. It could have been done at a different time, but I got back at him. You can't beat a road trip like that, and I'd go again any day.
The new Honda Element. Go with it.
Honda presents In His Element.
Get bodies on him, make a tackle. Let's go.
McGriff finds a huge hole and gets right by Stucker. Here goes McGriff. It's a foot race. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown. The rookie with his first career kickoff return for TD.
Remember to go to arenafootball.com to vote for next week's winner and automatically qualify for a chance to win your own 2003 Honda Element, which will be announced during the telecast of Arena Bowl 17.
Scott Thomas finishing off a 43-yard screen pass. And I mentioned as we went to a break that he is a soon-to-be Los Angeles public servant, because as our Lamisil player profile of the day, we spent a lot of time with Scott Thomas talking about his hopes and dreams about being either a firefighter or a police officer, a highway patrol guy in LA.
Yeah, he talks about being a guy who wants to be a public servant, a public defender, if that, as you will. And he has people, and especially on his wife's side of the family, who have done it and blazed the path for him. But this is a guy who's got his head on straight. He told us, hey, if they called tomorrow, I'd hate to give up football, but my future lies in one of those areas, and that's what I'll do. And boy, he has put a lot of time and effort into those studies.
Willis Marshall. He'll run it out. Nice hole. Pays for it at the 18. Tommy Dorsey really drilling him. Yes, Thomas's wife, Jessica, her uncle, and her cousin are LA firefighters, and that's why number 22 said, it's a pretty neat way to give something back to the community. And he's been flying back and forth to Los Angeles, taking tests. He was able to coordinate a couple of tests last week.
Yeah, the agility and strength test that he had to take, and my understanding, based on our conversation with him, he's done with the test.
Yes.
Just waiting now for the background checks to kick in, which is very stringent in order to become a firefighter, and he's waiting for that to happen and awaiting the final word, so we wish him all the luck in the world.
Steve Smith is on the field for Grand Rapids. One hopper on the screen, incomplete. The quick screen to Willis Marshall. You know what? You didn't see the game last week, though many of our viewers saw the Georgia-Los Angeles game last week here on NBC. This is exactly what happened to Los Angeles at about this stage of the day. Last week it was Graziani hustling plays, throwing one-hop passes, just doing anything to get away from the unrelenting Georgia defense. We're seeing it happen now to Grand Rapids. Smith. How does he get hit by Willie Gary?
Hit him so hard he hurt himself. Willie Gary's the guy laying on the turf right now. What a blow.
He has always been known as a very solid. As a matter of fact, last week when I was talking to Marty Lowe at the Staples Center, he said Gary might be my most ferocious open field tackler. Very, very aggressive. And watch this again. The guy who makes the tackle is the guy who knocks himself down. Oh, he got hit by a teammate on the second part. Big number 22, our guy Scott Thomas, was going up high.
I think what happened to him also, more than anything, when he made the contact, I think the helmet of Steve Smith caught him up in the chest area, because watch, see where he catches him?
Yeah, but watch 22.
And on the backside, and then his head snaps as he hits 22's shoulder pad. Yeah, he catches a little double whammy there, doesn't he?
Now, as part of his firefighting training, Scott Thomas could come over and be the EMT here and help out Willie Gary.
It always helps to have a teammate who can multitask.
You know what Scott Thomas does? He was telling us yesterday. I said, what do you do for fun when you're not playing ball? He's got a Honda 250 dirt bike. He says, I get out there in the wild and just kind of let my aggressions go.
Just likes to ride his bike. He has a good time doing it, but he did tell us that the #1 thing that has supported him along the way has been his wife, Jessica, who supported him the whole way in terms of what he's trying to do with his future and his career, because it's taking a lot of time to play football, to study, to go out to LA and run through all the tests. It's not easily done, and they have a beautiful young daughter, Brooklyn, now. He's preparing for his future.
Brooklyn with 2 N's.
Yes.
Clint Dolzell unloaded it to Steve Smith, who was just back in the ball game.
Yeah, I think you're right, partner. I think it was Thomas. It was definitely Thomas. I thought from the backside maybe the helmet might have caught him, but what it was really a helmet-to-helmet shot by Gary delivering it, and then he catches the shot from Thomas, and that's what hurt him. But Gary, true to the Iron Man nature of arena football, stays in the game.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, you take him out with the substitution rules being what they are in the Arena Football League. You can be dead for a quarter very, very easily if they don't
if you don't
get you back in there.
If you don't start the quarter and then you come in and then you go out, you're done for the rest of the quarter. So they want to make sure they get Willie Gary out there.
Now Georgia will be charged a timeout for that extensive bit of work on Gary. If they had chosen not to take a timeout and pulled him from the ball game, well, then he would be dead for the rest of the quarter. Here, they can take a timeout, let the doctors work, but Georgia is now down to 2 timeouts remaining for the half. Marshall got around Willie Gary that time, and Kevin Gaines finally backing up the play to put it down. Help too from Oscar Sturgis. You know, for a big guy, Sturgis, 97 in blue, he moves around pretty well.
And it helps in this game because your defensive linemen often have to get back downfield to assist on tackles. And when number 97 arrived, the whole pile moved.
Looked like Oscar was converting the 7-10 split there when he came flying into that pile. Avery is, rather Muhammad now in at the fullback spot to block. The throw high for Terrell Shaw. And he ends up over the wall. Now you can keep the football, you have to give the players back.
You really don't want to assume the contract of the player if you keep him.
No, you don't want to hang on to Terrell Shaw and have to make good on the money.
He's making some good money and benefit, so it's not easy, but this is a route that Grand Rapids loves. They love this flag route to the back of the end zone. Ball's a little high, and at the back of the end zone, pushed out. Scott Thomas, our firefighter friend, takes Terrell Shaw over the wall. Shaw bounces right back up, right back into the game.
Again, the fullback is Umar Muhammad. He stays in the block. The throw is there. Touchdown. That is number 4 to Terrell Shaw. 13 yards on the touchdown. His 4th touchdown reception of the afternoon, and this time they went to the motion man.
Second time he scored on the same route. He runs this way, comes back that way to the inside. See, curls back inside. Kevin Gaines read it just a count too late. Delivers a big hit, but Terrell Shaw hangs on for the touchdown.
Brian Goins out of the hold of Nick Browder. And that time he makes it go. So while Shaw's other touchdowns have been on the perimeter, that time they go right up the middle to find number 15. Georgia still leads 42-34.
Oh man, the trip was beyond expectations. Corey wore that marker on his face for a good 4 hours, I think. We had to stop like 9 or 10 times just for Matt. We got up there, it snow dumped on us, fresh powder. So we built this jump, built a nice lip on it for Sam to go off. He didn't know that we built the lip. The girls at the hot tub were awesome, but for some reason, we didn't have much success. I don't know, maybe we'll have better luck next year. The new Honda Element. Go with it.
Papa John's presents a mouth-watering deal that'll put a smile on your face. Say cheese. Sticks. Free cheese sticks. When you buy a made-to-order large one-topping Papa John's pizza for just $9.99, John himself will toss in our delicious cheese sticks absolutely free. We start with Papa John's hand-tossed dough, garlic sauce, cheese made with 100% mozzarella, and 2 zesty sauces for dipping. Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and get free cheese sticks when you order a large one-topping pizza for only $9.99. We see you smiling.
Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
People everywhere are discovering a new way to protect their homes and families, all thanks to a new security system called SafeWatch EZ, only from ADT. Now you can arm your system with just the turn of a key. And with no codes to enter, SafeWatch EZ virtually eliminates accidentally setting off your alarm. Get SafeWatch EZ for as little as $99. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT. Always there.
On Sunday's #1 drama, Law & Order: Criminal Intent. He's a genius and he loves his family, so why does he want them dead?
He's cleaning house. With a screwdriver in his neck.
How do you take down Deadly Daddy?
God!
With a Law & Order twist.
I have it.
Oscar winner Joel Grey in an all-new Law & Order: Criminal Intent. NBC tonight.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gwinnett County, Georgia. Is this the time for Michael Trigg to pull one of his onside kicks out of the bag? He's got a whole retinue of them. Nope, he's going to kick it away. Right into and out of the hands of the first guy, and it caroms to another fan who has a souvenir. You know, you don't put anything past Michael Trigg.
No, not at all, because he knows every nuance of this game, all the rules. We saw on the show at the top of the game with Glenn and Michael and Al, where they talked about last week the onside kick in overtime with Danny White, and Danny not knowing the rule. Michael Trigg said he learned that rule, but the hard way, because he did the exact same thing. I believe he was in Milwaukee as the head coach then.
A number of years ago.
Thought that he had won a game off of that, learned that it wasn't a possession.
They had already gone to the locker room.
Had to bring them back out, so he learned that rule the hard way.
Davis to Thomas. Fumbles the football. Picked up by Willis Marshall. And Marshall has to get to the 5, and they about take out Coach Marty Lowe. Marty Lowe, the coach of Georgia, had to hop the boards to get away from Marshall. What a huge break for Grand Rapids as they cover the Scott Thomas fumble.
Good thing that Marty's 31 and still in great shape, running 5 or 6 miles a day. He still has the agility. We saw him out here in pregame warming up his quarterbacks and receivers, but that's not the way he wanted to get a workout in today. Georgia now gives up the turnover that Grand Rapids needed on defense. They were down 2 stops to the Georgia defense. Grand Rapids needed this desperately. Now they have a chance to go in and we almost can get this game close to even.
They've got wide receiver as a quarterback. Nick Crowder. Dolezal, the regular quarterback, throws. Touchdown. Terrell Shaw, his 5th. His 5th, a 5-yard touchdown. And now you figure they go for 2 to tie it.
And they didn't even hesitate on that. But watch Terrell Shaw run his route. Gets open, but here's why he's really open. It's because Clint Dolezal used his legs to get out of the pocket a little bit and extend the life of the play long enough to have time to find Terrell Shaw in the back of the end zone. Now they go for 2.
And now the officials are going to talk things over. Dolezal on that last play had a wide receiver.
Quarter ended on the play. We will run the PAT right at this spot.
Here the quarter ends. They had Nick Crowder, the quarterback, the backup quarterback, lined up, and he's still in.
That's him at the top of the screen, the widest receiver.
To tie it on the 2-point conversion. No, Shaw cannot get to the football, and it remains a 42-40 Georgia lead as we are now 3 quarters complete here at the arena at the Gwinnett Center. This is a dandy. Your basic 82 points. We've still got a football quarter yet to go. Some interesting stories unfolding. We'll be back in the 4th quarter right after these messages from your local NBC station.
NBC Monday. Fear factor's going where it's never gone before. Vegas, baby. All new and supersized in 90 minutes. With a mile-high slide down a pyramid.
Oh my God.
And one more thing. Whoever wins the money will be forced to bet it on one hand of blackjack.
Wow.
Supersized Las Vegas Fear Factor, 8/7 Central, NBC Monday.
You have a fishy.
Blimpy.
Can I feed it?
Blimpy.
Who wouldn't want the fresh sliced deli meat and fresh baked bread of a Blimpy?
Ah, soup, the ultimate comfort food. Added soup season at Blimpy. Blimpy has hearty traditional freshly made soups, along with their famous delicious fresh sliced subs. Soup's on. Soup up your sub at Blimpy today.
For more than 40 years, West Michigan has turned to Green Path Debt Solutions for help with their debt. We're experts at working with creditors to stop collection calls and eliminate fees. But our service is what really sets us apart. Green Path certified counselors will create a customized plan that includes all your debts, not just credit cards. A personal solution to help you get out and stay out of debt. And we're committed to serving you with local offices throughout West Michigan. For debt solutions that work, call Green Path Debt Solutions today.
Let's see how Trailblazer measures up against this Ford Explorer. Explorer has more shoulder room between here and here, and from here to here. Available adjustable pedals that move from here to here, and independent rear suspension here for improved handling between here, 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 and here. And returning lessees will smile from here to here with a $312 a month lease for 24 months on a 2003 Explorer 4-door XLT 4x4. So don't go there. See your neighborhood Michigan Ford dealer here.
Watch Sports Overtime tonight after News 8 at 11.
This copyrighted telecast of the Arena Football League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written permission of the AFL and NBC.
Well, that's the story right there. 42-40 as we begin the fourth period. Terrell Shaw taking a well-deserved breather. That does tie the Grand Rapids team record. 5 touchdowns. Shaw himself had done it once back in 2001. Steve Smith did it once last year at Carolina. Thomas Bailey back in 1999, the outstanding wideout for Grand Rapids, had 2 games, one at Portland and one at Milwaukee when he caught 5 touchdown passes. So time yet for Shaw to have the record. Here's Markeith Cooper out to the 13-yard line.
Helps kickoff coverage when the kicker hits the net, allows the coverage to get downfield. But the key turnover on the last drive for Georgia that turned into points for Grand Rapids, the pass out to Scott Thomas. Watch Lamar Grant, number 5, and Cecil Doggett, number 3. They sandwich him and force the fumble. It's picked up now by Willis Marshall, but look in the back. Marty Lowe trying to get out of the way, vaults the wall, and takes no pleasure in his vertical leap being higher than mine, because that meant that the ball was coming back at him, which is not what the coach wants.
Charles, you denigrate your physical abilities.
I know what I don't have.
Wow, quick release over the top. Oscar Sturgis. We talked about him being agile for a big man. That is his 3rd reception of the year. Finally put down by Cecil Doggett.
Second time we've seen this play today. The screen to the tight end. And Oscar Sturgis, number 97, rumbling at you. But watch him at the end. See how he protects the football?
Yeah.
Steve Smith, number 84, pulling at it. A great job by a lineman, understanding how to keep the football in his possession.
Here's Hillary to the 15. But how about Cecil Doggett just stepping in front of a guy 6'5", 280? I mean, let's face it, Oscar Sturgis eats sandwiches bigger than that guy.
Yeah, but Cecil Doggett is never, as you know, Eli, ever
He's not bashful.
Back down from a challenge in his life. I mean, there's the name Cecil Doggett, plenty of the big dog in Doggett, even though he only is 5'8", 175, 180 pounds.
Neat guy.
He's a wonderful young man.
Hammond in motion. Flags are down. Catch is made by Georgia's Jarek Hillary at the 9-yard line. But again, flags are down.
what a great move by Hillary, going down before Chris Avery, number 34, could come from inside out and deliver a big blow.
Referee Pat Garvey.
Illegal defense. Number 34. It's a 5-yard penalty. It will be forced.
The linebacker,
First down.
Chris Avery. Linebacker Chris Avery. Guilty of the illegal defense. Could mean a lot of things.
You see Robert Smith, the defensive coordinator, he could have broken the daylight rule
Right, he
between
could
the
have
defensive
been
linemen.
out of the
Could have had
box.
the box too early. Could have been a number of things there.
Curran is the fullback. He gets the toss. Cut back nicely to the 3-yard line. Sturgis and McClure were the blockers. Curran, who interestingly in his smaller days was a tailback at New Hampshire, with a nice cutback.
Played with a guy, played behind a guy named Jerry Azuma, who now plays defensive back for the Chicago Bears before A.C. Curran with a great run before Willis Marshall cuts him down. But what a drive by Georgia after the turnover. They come right back with a good offense.
Curran again. Touchdown. His third rushing touchdown, this time behind Oscar Sturgis for 2 yards. Dan Curran, who collegiately has a tailback, ran for 106 yards one day against James Madison University, showing you what he's made of.
Told Oscar Sturgis his number before. Watch him here, big 97. He's got the key block because he has to reach the defensive end, and that he does. Reaches him, controls him, and allows Dan Curran to turn the corner for the touchdown.
And now, McLaughlin with the extra point. Hillary holds, and McLaughlin converts. So what's that? 6 touchdowns now for the Georgia force. 4 of them have come on the ground, 3 by Curran.
It started with a vision. Create a company that would dare to be different. A company built to serve the individual investor. This vision created more than a company. It launched a movement. Today, more and more investors are discovering there's a better alternative to traditional brokerage firms. They're moving to Charles Schwab. Join the movement.
Gentlemen, KFC is something unique and exciting. Hot wings.
Hot and crispy outside, tender inside. Hot wings only from KFC. Get 8 for only $2.99 or 20 for just $7.49.
I smell hot wings.
The AFL and NBC is brought to you by Charles Schwab. Join the movement of investors getting a fresh start at Charles Schwab. Call 1-800-4-SCHWAB. By KFC. There's fast food, then there's KFC. By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. And by Dell, flexible enterprise solutions that are easy to buy, easy to own. Easy as Dell. Eli Gold, Charles Davis, the whole AFL and NBC crew with you from the arena at the Gwinnett Center. Steve McLaughlin set to kick it away, the Lou Groza Award winner from the University of Arizona back in 1994.
That meant he was a good kicker, right?
Yes. If you are the winner of the Lou Groza Award.
Lou the Toe Groza.
Yes.
Cleveland Browns, who would have been a great arena football player, Eli, because Lou the Toe was a kicker and an excellent offensive tackle.
He went a different type of
two-way, but he would have been great for Iron Man football.
Steve Smith out of the slack net. Flags are down. Smith is not dull. He gets around McLaughlin. Grand Rapids taking it to the house. 57 yards, but there are flags on the play. Steve Smith.
And flags on a kick play usually mean what?
Well, you didn't give him enough room to catch the football or a block in the back.
Something like that is usually what happens. We'll see what the call is.
There is no foul on the play. The result of the play is a touchdown.
There you hear it. Michael Trigg says, way to go, Steve Smith, sprained shoulder and all.
Or a flag means nothing at all. And for Grand Rapids, it's beautiful. Missed tackle by Kendrick Olston, number 94. Missed tackle by Bruce McClure, number 73. McLaughlin, no chance at all to catch Steve Smith. The second kick return for a touchdown by Steve Smith in the last 2 games. He had one against Carolina to open their game, their victory against them last week.
57 yards, and it is the second such kick of the day. Markeith Cooper had a return for Georgia, and now to try and draw within 1. It's a 49-46 game. Knocked away, incomplete. That was Kendrick Golston who gets in the way of that 2-point conversion. So it remains a 3-point game with 10 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the afternoon. Right into your living room in Grand Rapids. Touchdown.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty leaving my dog alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
At ADT, we help more people feel safe in more ways than any other security company. A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide for as little as $99. Plus, save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP.
Owner of a Major League Baseball team. Big league income.
Hey, kid. Off the field.
The internship that could get you there. Priceless. Apply for an internship with the Cardinals or the Mets. Go to MasterCard.com.
Let's say this is you, and this is your auto insurance company. You've always gotten along okay, but let's say this is Allstate. Ooh, looks better than what you got now, huh? Well, qualified drivers who call Allstate for a free auto quote can get a company this good for this kind of price, maybe less. The choice is pretty simple, don't you think? So call Allstate to see what you can save. Just one more way the right hands make all the difference.
This is a football. This is arena football. The Arena Football League. Players battle both ways, offense and defense. And the walls, ooh, the walls. With fans so close, it hurts. And scoring so high, you just might need oxygen. The Arena Football League. For tickets to the AFL team near you, call 1-866-AFL-TIXS today. Football's in the house.
Dan Curran pushes automobiles for exercise. He said, that toughens me up, gives me those big arms. He pushes automobiles. He's been pushing bodies around today.
Yeah, he pushes them and he carries them too, puts a little harness on him and gets him moving, and that gets his legs strong too. And when he's running what they term downhill, very difficult to tackle him after he gets a head of steam up. Going 5 yards from 5 yards away. He's gotten into the end zone a number of times in this afternoon.
They were those DeSoto of an arm. The other side is a Studebaker.
At least you didn't call him an Edsel. All right, he would have been very upset with you. DeSotos and Studebakers were classics.
I can see how quickly he'd run the steps if I'd called him an Edsel.
Yes.
He'd be up here in a heartbeat. Cooper off the net. The chant of Coop from the fans here at the center. And to the 19-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds by Corey Mayfield, big number 91. You know what's interesting?
Big doesn't do him justice, Eli. I mean,
we leave our adjectives at home on that.
I mean, to try and get around Corey Mayfield, you've got no chance. And watch how Corey makes the play. It's just an arm. See that?
Oh,
all it is one of those big old soup bones just taking Markeith Cooper into the wall. I mean, Markeith has no chance. Markeith is 5'6", 160. All right,
Corey's
Mayfield,
left arm is 5'6".
Exactly. Corey's listed at 348, but that was prior to the pregame meal.
Here the screen to Cooper. Ooh, hard hit at the 22-yard line. You know what's interesting? With all the diversity in touchdown passes, Dolezal has thrown 6, but he's only thrown to 3 different receivers. While Davis today has thrown 2 touchdown passes, and he has thrown to 7 different guys. So Clint is very deliberate. Davis is sharing the wealth.
And part of that has been the injury situation for Grand Rapids. They've lost Ricky Ross. They lost Steve Smith for a while. So that cuts down the number of guys you actually have to throw to.
Davis, wide open. Cooper with the flags flying, touchdown. It'll be a 29-yard touchdown pass, but again, there are all sorts of hankies on the field. But if it stands up, it's a 29-yard touchdown.
George is looking happy on this one. There's one back where the quarterback was hit. See if that's a roughing the passer. And I saw the Georgia players making a signal as if it were going to stand maybe an illegal defense against Grand Rapids.
Referee Pat Garvey. It is an illegal defense.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 93. That penalty will be enforced from the PAT. The result of the play is touchdown.
The 3rd touchdown of the day for Cooper. 2 receiving and 1 in the kick return.
Earlier in the day, the roughing calls were going against George, against Clint Dolezal. And Corey Mayfield got there a little bit late and really hammered Donnie Davis. And deep in the secondary, after an illegal defense is called against Grand Rapids, there's no one home to cover Markeith Cooper. Wide open.
55-46. And now the attempt of the extra point by Steve McLaughlin.
And yeah, and the ball's close now because of the penalty. You know, this is where you have to be alert for a fake if you're Grand Rapids. The ball's on about the 1.5-yard line now, right about the 1-yard line.
Bruce McClure is the long snapper. Jarek Hillary is the holder. They're playing it straight and kicking it straight for the conversion. So with 9:08 to go in the ball game, it's a 10-point game. After that 2-play, 32-yard scoring strike. Touchdown Georgia, and they're up by
10. I'm gonna give you the big half of mine. There you go, honey. Enjoy.
Sharing feeds the soul. Bring a friend and try Denny's new hoagie melts. The hearty Philly melt smothered in melted Swiss cheese. Or the delicious chicken melt covered with tangy cheddar. Try Denny's hoagie melts. And remember, sharing is good. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
The first major advance for the fastest treatment of athlete's foot is Lamisil AT. Lamisil AT is the first non-prescription medicine proven to kill the fungus with just 1 week's use. Not even a prescription can beat that. Lotrimin AF and Tinactin still expect you to treat for 4 weeks. Who's going to do that? When your feet itch and burn, using Lamisil AT 1 week keeps you athlete's foot free 3 months. Lamisil AT. There's no better way to cure athlete's foot.
If someone wrote a book about your life, would anyone want to read it? The stories of tomorrow are being written today in the U.S. Navy. You'll do more in a few years than most people do in a lifetime, if you're ready. Check out the Life Accelerator at Navy.com. Navy, accelerate your life.
Orlando QB Connell Maynard. Thrust into the spotlight, he's made a name for himself with an 8-touchdown pass performance. Now he leads the AFL's only undefeated team versus Tampa Bay in the league's biggest rivalry. For regional action, the AFL on NBC next Sunday at the special early time of noon Eastern, or Colorado, Arizona at 3 Pacific.
Hey, in this fan-friendly league, if you get the souvenir, you get to keep it, just like that young lady here at the arena at Gwinnett Center. Eli Gold, Charles Davis. Yeah. Welcome back to the AFL on NBC. This is the most points Georgia has scored all year. They're up to 56. They had 51 in the game you saw in this building, Charles, against San Jose.
Yeah, when you talk about the Georgia force and their defense and playing at home, when you put it all together, that's when they play their best.
Willis Marshall gets around McClure, but is taken down as McClure stopped his momentum, and Dan Curran makes a tackle. But you hit on something earlier in the day, Charles, and you said, we know Georgia's got the defense. Can Grand Rapids slow down the Georgia offense, which we said at the beginning of the day was not as explosive? You still got to stop them.
They've got to find a way to do that. They've done it once, and they're trying to do it by getting to the quarterback, Donnie Davis. We saw Corey Mayfield putting some pressure on him. Unfortunately for Grand Rapids, that turned out to be a late hit, and it was still a touchdown pass from Donnie Davis to Markeith Cooper. They've forced one turnover. It turned into points for them. On defense, Grand Rapids needs to do it again.
Underneath, Smith absorbs a hit and slips down and is covered up by Hillary. And Willie Gary, the man who really laid the first boom on him right there. He said, yeah, I hit him, but I couldn't tie him up.
You know, Willie Gary is a guy who was inactive for the first 3 or 4 games of the season for Georgia and has now become active due to the injury to Cliff Green, who tore his Achilles against San Jose in their big win, and he's played since then. And today we've seen Willie Gary make some nice plays, big hits, and also broke up a potential touchdown pass to Terrell Shaw.
Cliff Green left the ball club with that injury as the number 3 tackler. They miss him. Nice slant inside. Smith to the 12-yard line. It was Scott Thomas around whom he spun, and Kevin Gaines, you saw there on top of him for the takedown.
Yeah, when you talk about Cliff Green, who they are missing in the defensive secondary, Scotty Lindsey has taken his spot, and Willie Gary also is playing. As we take a look at this play, Cliff Green last year did a lot of damage against Grand Rapids, and Steve Smith, who didn't play much that day due to a bad ankle. How about this stat line? 8 tackles, 5 passes broken up, and 2 interceptions by Cliff Green against Grand Rapids last year.
Umar Mohammed, the blocking back. They look for Smith. It's intercepted at the goal line. Intercepted by Jarek Hillary. This is as unlike a Clint Dolezal type of day as you can imagine, folks.
Well scouted. Well scouted team, well scouted in this with Bob Cronenberg and Marty Lowe, because what they're doing, see, Terrell Shaw is running the short route, but you see Jarek Hillary, number 1, who was covering him, he stayed back because he sensed that what Grand Rapids likes to do, run shorter routes and then put someone behind you on a deeper zone, and he played the deeper route and made the interception.
Second interception of the year for Jarek Hillary.
Let's go, Mets, let's go.
And for Clint Dolezal, it is the 6th interception he has thrown. Hillary complete to the 7 as we go back to New York. Al Chopwig with an update on New York and Los Angeles. Al?
As predicted, Eli, it's an offensive shootout between the Dragons and the Avengers. Tony Graziani, well, he can throw the football.
Well, he can throw it because he's got guys wide open all over the place. Here's a beautiful 30-yard strike to Chris Jackson. Not a lot to talk about other than he's wide open.
They've hit the 1-minute mark, and the Dragons are knocking on the door. But right now, the Avengers, trying to end a 2-game losing streak, have the lead.
58-55, that one will certainly keep you informed. While here outside of Atlanta, it's Dorsey. Turning the corner, runs over bodies. Ran over Umar Mohammed as he gets out near the 20-yard line. Tommy Dorsey, 6'1", 240. Sounds like he ought to be leading a big band, but a big band of body ran over Umar Mohammed is what happened.
Yeah, this is the big band sound that the defense hates to hear. But watch to the left of your screen. Right there is a key block by Tony Henderson, number 90, reaching the defensive end and clearing room for Dorsey to turn the corner and run for big yardage.
Dorsey, a 6th-year veteran in this league. Cooper. They hang on, does Lamar Grant. Lamar hangs on to Markeith Cooper, who'll pick up 9 on the play out to the 23 of Grand Rapids.
Another example of how important tackling is in this league in open field. One-on-one tackling. You have to be a good tackler to play this game. And it doesn't have to be the big booming hit every time. Getting him on the ground is the key to success in the secondary. If Lamar Grant doesn't get him on the ground, it becomes a foot race, and Markeith Cooper wins most of those.
8 completions in a row for Davis, and timeout being taken by Georgia. Donnie looked up, didn't like what he saw, elects to take a timeout. It will be the 2nd timeout of this half. Remember, they took one because of injury earlier. So in the final moments of this ball game, Georgia will be down. So one timeout remaining. We're back in a moment.
I am Voltazoid. I will destroy you with my plasma ray.
You are wrong, Zoid. Your ray is no match for Lord Gorlock.
Excuse me. Did you know that Geico settles many car insurance claims in 48 hours or less?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Impressive, Green One.
I'm gonna give you the big half of mine. There you go, honey. Enjoy.
Sharing feeds the soul. Bring a friend and try Denny's new hoagie melts. The hearty filling melt smothered in melted Swiss cheese. Or the delicious chicken melt covered with tangy cheddar. Try Denny's hoagie melts. And remember, sharing is good. Denny's, a good place to sit and eat.
A 10-point game with 4:33 remaining. Georgia in blue with the football. Donnie Davis in this half, the quarterback, 8 of 9. 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks over the top. Thomas hangs on. Touchdown. Scott Thomas beating Lamar Grant 23 yards. And all of a sudden, that is the second touchdown reception of the day for him. And Grand Rapids cannot slow down Georgia's offense.
And watch how Scott Thomas makes play. A little stop-and-go route. Gets Lamar Grant to stop at his feet. Now he gains the advantage. But watch how he goes up and gets the ball at its highest point. Doesn't allow the defensive back to come back into the play. Scott Thomas reaches up and snatches the football and holds on despite the efforts of Shea Showers coming over the top.
All of this after Jarek Hillary had intercepted Clint Dolezal at the other goal line. And the extra point by Steve McLaughlin. Georgia had not scored more than 51. Today, they're, as we said, as I said at the opening of the show, a non-explosive offense is up to 63 points.
And this is a big key why is this guy, Donnie Davis, at the top of the show. We showed you that Donnie Davis only 9 touchdown passes versus 7 interceptions the first 3 weeks that he played. He didn't play against San Jose one of those weeks. But since then, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He's managing the football game the way that his head coach, Marty Lowe, wants it managed. To be efficient on offense, throw touchdown passes, 0 turnovers. No interceptions by Donnie Davis, 0 fumbles by Donnie Davis today.
Hey folks, don't forget, coming up next, final round coverage of the Ford Championship at Doral, the big southern swing of golf right here on NBC. Scott Hoke, Bob Tway, all the guys on hand. Dan Hicks is standing by to bring you the coverage. Final round of the Ford Championship at Doral, and as well, you know, for the next many weeks, if you want to follow the PGA Tour, you got to tune right here to NBC.
It's the Southern Swing. All right, they're going to be at the Doral this weekend. Next weekend, they're at the Honda Championships down in South Florida.
We're going to be together at Bay Hill.
We'll be at Bay Hill the 3rd weekend there. And then after that, they move on to TPC and then back here to Atlanta.
Flags are thrown as Steve Smith brings the football out to the 9. But there were some blocks in the back way upfield and around midfield, 15 yards from where the ball was. There was a hold and there was a block in the back. They've got all sorts of choices from which to select here.
Holding on the receiving team, number 42. Now penalty will be forced half a distance to the goal line. First down.
5th penalty of the day on Grand Rapids. Check out the standings.
Grand Rapids trying to maintain an advantage. Dallas has already won this weekend, so if they lose, they go back into a tie. Georgia trying to keep pace now. Tampa won this weekend, trying to keep pace in a tie for second, both chasing Orlando, and Orlando plays tomorrow night against Indiana.
Intercepted! Intercepted by Jermaine Smith, who'll lumber back in to the 1. Jermaine Smith. My goodness. He says, I've not done that before. He had a fumble recovery. He had a couple of tackles for a loss. He's picked up fumbles. He's caused sacks. Jermaine Smith says, I'll take this interception.
This is the guy who wreaks havoc. And look at him running over Steve Smith and getting almost to the end zone. And now he's got to celebrate. And if Willie Gary would just get off of him, he could do the Jermaine Smith fall down maneuver.
This is exactly, and we said it earlier, but it bears repeating. This is exactly what happened to the Los Angeles Avengers last weekend at the Staples Center. Their offense stalled in the face of Georgia's defense. They started making bad passes. They started making mistakes, very unlike an LA team, and very much unlike a Grand Rapids team. A good defense can do that to you.
And they just wear on you. Remember, we talked most of the first half how neither side was stopping each other. And we talked with that guy right there, Michael Trigg, the head coach of Grand Rapids yesterday. And he said the key to the game was, could our defense stop their offense?
To number 84. Offensive specialist is now number 84.
The announcement is that the offensive specialist for Grand Rapids will be number 84, Steve Smith.
So they're making the change. Dante Brown was on the field. Now he's coming out. Corey Mayfield for Jason Gamble. Jason Gamble back in. A little bit of confusion right now in the Grand Rapids defense. We'll see if Georgia can take advantage of it on this play.
Dorsey is the fullback, number 32 in blue. Hillary is in motion. He gets the toss. And he's going to throw. Touchdown! Does he cross the plane of the goal line? Touchdown to Darrell Hammond. A little flea flicker from the quarterback to the motion man Hillary to Darrell Hammond for a touchdown.
You were in Los Angeles last week, Eli. They have a guy by the name of Chris Jackson who's thrown 2 touchdown passes this year off of similar plays. Jarek Hillary, very versatile. All-AFL rookie in 2000, All-AFL in 2001. Is a great two-way player. He also holds on extra points and field goals, so you know he's got to have an arm because they always want a guy back there in case the play breaks down who can make a play with his arm. Jarek Hillary showed it off on that play.
McLaughlin with the extra points. And it's now adding up in a hurry. A 70-46 score here outside of Atlanta. Let's play Can You Top This? Al, what you got for us?
Well, we've got New York trying to take the lead over Los Angeles, and we've got Mike Furry who can catch the ball in all sorts of adversity.
The guy can do it all. Aaron Garcia, just a nice 7-yard pass. Great catch. This is an incredible catch by Mike Furry, and they go up, and this is the 5th lead change since the half.
New York hit the extra point, but a penalty made them do it again. They missed. 32 seconds to go. Los Angeles is driving, Eli.
But I'll see your 61 points, and I'll tack on 7. I'll raise you 9. We've got a 70-46 score here. Compliments of that interception before by that man, Jermaine Smith, the ADT defensive play of the ball game. There have been some biggies, but how do you argue with this?
Kind of hard to argue with it, and you talk about being some biggies. How about a supersized play with Jermaine Smith leaping up as a defensive lineman, reading Clint Dolezel's eyes and going with the flow, and even shook off his teammate in order to get the big Jermaine Smith flop after the interception. And he's still pumped up, throwing those little short jabs. You know, when you're winning, you're never tired. That's one of the rules of the game. It's one of the adages out there, and look at the point total. 70, the most they've scored this year by far. 51 prior to this today.
It's also 67 was the most they had ever scored in their history, the Georgia Push. As Willis Marshall brings the football out to the 9 with Tony Henderson there to greet him. It was back against the Orlando Predators in 2002 that Georgia was up to a 67-point total, 67-49. So in the history of the Georgia portion of this franchise, remember they moved from Nashville here, and the former Nashville Cats, but from the Georgia perspective, this is the most points in the franchise history. And of course, you look at the low portion for Grand Rapids. They're scoring 46 today. They've scored at least 54 in every game. There's a catch by Shaw over the shoulder of Beauty down at the 7-yard line. As we are coming to and have now surpassed the 1-minute warning on that 34-yard strike to Shaw. Well, we're seeing numbers just flying everywhere. Offensive bests, offensive worsts. But I wonder if folks really expect it to play out the way it is. So with 56 seconds remaining in the ball game, we now go to the 1-minute timing rules. The clock will stop on interceptions, incomplete passes, out-of-bounds plays, and the like.
Yeah, look at the stack at the top bottom of your screen with 3 receivers.
Dolezal throws it sidearm, touchdown! Touchdown in the end zone to the offensive specialist, Steve Smith. So Steve Smith on the receiving end. And now certainly Grand Rapids no choice but to keep going for 2.
They go for 2, and again, Clint Dolezal gets some great blocking up front from his offensive line, but uses his legs to stray out of the pocket a little bit and find Steve Smith. Here's the deal. They go for 2 now. Doesn't matter, you know, whether they make it or not, onside kick has to happen. We talked about it earlier in the game. Now it has to happen for Michael Trigg, but it won't be a surprise onside. They just have to go get it.
This for the 2-point conversion. Smith in motion. Looking for him. He's there. He comes down with the football and the 2-point conversion. So the 2-pointer is good, capping off a 2-play, 41-yard drive. It only took 58 seconds to complete. We are back in a moment.
I know some interns who went the extra mile tonight. I'm one of them.
Whoa, very funny. Hey, turn the lights out. Oh, boy.
Is somebody there?
Just the tech support night shift.
Yeah, everybody thinks just because Dell makes such reliable PCs, we just punch out at 5. But when someone does have a question, we are here 24/7, 365.
Yeah, that's what award-winning service and support is all about.
That's right. Someone's always around to help out. And let me tell you, we're certainly not afraid of the dark.
I'm a little afraid of the dark. Call it together, Snyder.
Now you can get a Dimension desktop with a 17-inch monitor plus everything else you see here for just $4.99. For a limited time, you'll get free shipping. Visit our website for even more great offers. And check out our notebooks, too. You're not just getting a great deal, you're getting a Dell.
Sorry about that. There must be something wrong with the fuse or something.
America's favorite PC. Easy to buy, easy to own, easy as Dell.
TGI Fridays introduces 2 Can Eat for $19.99. Come in now and share one of Friday's tasty appetizers and get 2 of Friday's favorite entrees from our special menu for just $19.99.
Tell me I'm the only one. Wanna come over tonight? Yeah.
It's one delicious deal. Hurry in for 2 Can Eat for $19.99.
Dan Hicks and our NBC golf crew anticipating quite a finish for the Ford Championship at Doral this afternoon in Miami. Yesterday, there were 13 players within 5 shots headed into this final round. Right now, 25 players within 5 shots of the lead for the moment, held by Scott Hope. Our final round action for you in just a few minutes. In the meantime, back to Eli Gold in Atlanta.
Dan Hicks and the guys standing by. The Ford Championship at Doral as soon as we move aside. Boy, turnovers.
Tail of the tape right there. Turnovers will always kill you, but when they're converted into points, it almost buries you. Something that Michael Trigg and his team knew they needed to avoid against the good Georgia defense, unable to do so today.
7 guys front and center for Georgia. The deep man is Markeith Cooper. The kick is touched at the 8-yard line. That'll be an illegal touch by Grand Rapids, and Georgia takes over the football at that point.
Yes, Chris Avery, number 34. Their great fullback, MAC linebacker, touched the ball too soon.
You folks know the rule, just like the stadium played game. And it was an illegal touch.
During the kick, illegal touch. On the kicking team, number 34 White. Based on the rule, the ball was spotted at the spot of the illegal touch. First down.
Brian Goins boots it, but there you see Chris Avery at about the 7-8 yard line. So Georgia will take over, leading 70-54.
And they can't just sit on it, right? Last minute of the game, the offense team leading. They must attempt to gain positive yardage. If they don't, the clock stops in order to aid the defense, so they can't just take a knee and run out the clock.
The toss, Curran wants another touchdown, but he's stopped at the 4, maybe the 3-yard line. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the fewest points scored by Grand Rapids this year, tying the 54 they had in a win at Buffalo. And for Georgia, this is the most points in Georgia franchise history, 70. When the team was in Nashville, they had an instance of scoring more, but in this town, this is it.
And you notice that Michael Trigg has elected not to use timeouts here in order to stop the clock. He said, that's, you know, enough for today.
Yep.
We have a 3-game, this is the first of a 3-game road trip for us. We'll come back and fight another day next week.
Yep. And that now with 2 seconds remaining will stop the clock because positive yardage was not attained.
Right, there was not a timeout called by Grand Rapids. This is not a give up by Michael Trigg. It's just understanding with that limited amount of time and the gap in the score, well nigh impossible to score that many times, get that many onside kicks and come back. Remember, Grand Rapids has a 3-game road trip.
Yeah.
You know, this is the first of those 3 games. Next week, they're in Dallas.
Then on
to
Los Angeles. And that is going to do it as they throw it away, and the ball game is over. Georgia, we knew, had a great defense, and indeed they do. But their offense was par excellence. It rekindled itself last week in Los Angeles, and it has stayed alive here today.
And last year, these two teams got together in Grand Rapids, and Steve Smith caught a touchdown pass, and Brian Gowans added the extra point with no time left for a dramatic victory for Grand Rapids. Georgia says they didn't think about that very much this week, but I don't truly believe that. They thought they had that game won last year, and they wanted to prove to Grand Rapids that they could win it here this year in Georgia, and that they did today.
Some of the final numbers, that man Donnie Davis was 19 of 23, 286 yards, 4 touchdowns.
0 interceptions.
Clint Dolzell was 22 of 36, 284 yards, 2 yards fewer than Davis, 7 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Interesting how this game played out. Hillary threw for a touchdown, Curran ran for 3, and Dorsey ran for 1. Shaw caught 5 touchdown passes, Steve Smith with a pair, and this one was all over with a strong Georgia 28-point fourth quarter performance. So this one is done. Grand Rapids now finds themselves in a tie atop the Central Division standings, while Georgia stays alive and keeps pace in the South. Once again, the final score from Georgia, the 470, Grand Rapids 54. The AFL and NBC returns next Sunday at a special early time of 12 noon Eastern. Most of you will see Orlando taking on Tampa Bay. Others will see New York battling Detroit. Just check your local listings for the game in your area. Don't forget, coming up next, Dan Hicks and the guys with NBC's coverage of the 4 championship at Doral. It's going to be an exciting final round. That's going to do it for us here in Gwinnett County. For Charles Davis, I'm Eli Gold. Congratulations to the Georgia Force. We'll see you next week. Golf is next, and you've been watching the AFL on NBC.
Every week on Meet My Folks, parents choose the mate for their child. Monday after Fear Factor, the tables are turned.
Is your mom home?
It's time to date my mom. One single mother, 3 bachelors, and her kids get to choose.
You don't know what we're thinking. I am more than twice your age.
Packed with surprises and the lie detector.
Would you resent me if I put you in a retirement home?
Yes.
Meet My Folks, 9:30, 8:30 Central, right after Vegas Fear Factor, NBC Monday.
This is 24-Hour News 8.
The governor laid out her spending or lack of spending priorities today here in Lansing.
Joining us now for an exclusive interview live from Lansing is Governor Granholm. What fees are you raising? What tax loopholes will you close?
There are a number of fees that we raised related to the protection of our environment.
Governor Granholm, I thank you so much for joining us tonight on 24-Hour News 8 at 6.
If you'd like a closer look at the budget, there's a lot to it. Log on to woodtv.com.
This is 24-Hour News 8.
Oak Express, America's largest cash buyer of wood furniture, has taken advantage of huge manufacturers' discounts on dining room products. Save now during the final days of our dining room warehouse blowout. Get real deals on real wood furnishings, like the solid oak dining table, now only $398, or the solid oak table, now